always trying to pretend that I'm not living just a lie. Broken heart and shattered lives. Let me go for one day. Let me lose myself. Oh, I knew how this would end. Oh, I knew that it would die, that we would come to this, that we would say goodbye. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Don't wanna think about the past. I'm crying out behind a mask. So give me something for the pain. I wanna lose myself again. Please get out of my mind. Just get out of my sight. Let me go for one day. Let me lose myself. Oh, I knew how this would end. Oh, I knew that it would die, that we would come to this, that we would say goodbye. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling.
I've been thinking about you. Oh yeah. Oh, there ain't no one else that does the things that you do to me. That's why I get nervous. I try to be cool, but you see me the right way. Oh, and I see you too. I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. I got feelings about you. Oh yeah. Oh. Butterflies every time I'm with you. Oh yeah. I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Oh, babe, I want you.
go through, love will still remain. So do what you want, baby. You and me in the sun. Know that I'll still be here when the day is done. So come a little bit closer, and I'll tell you what I feel inside. You know I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you. You know I'm gonna wait on you. Yes, I'm gonna wait on you. No one's gonna love you like I do. So glad that I found you. You're the missing piece, the last piece of the puzzle. I'm finally at ease. So when times are rough and the promises we make just seem so hollow and weak, and we're about to break, we have to remind ourselves, 'cause we know how we feel inside. You know I'm gonna wait on you. Ain't over till it's over. I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna love it till it's gone. You know I'm gonna wait on you. And the weight that's on your shoulder, I'm gonna carry that for you. So hear me when I say no one's gonna love you like I do. I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you. You know I'm gonna wait on you. And the weight that's on your shoulder, yes, I'm gonna carry that for you. So hear me when I say no one's gonna love you like I do. Don't take it personal, I ain't lying, I ain't hiding, I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, 'cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. Hey. Taking just a day.
this building. It's my season, lay foundation, make a name for generations. Please and make a, then take a break or a little vacation and chasing blues away. Hey, hey. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working, soaking the moments you live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, shaking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, 'cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. I'm in a place serene and pure and free. Hey, I ain't worried about what's the wave, only worry about me. Yeah. Oh, I'm taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 13th, and we continue to see a rise in COVID cases, about 135,000 new cases just yesterday. On average, over the last week, we're seeing a new 125,000 cases each day across America. And in comparison to the world, we're leading with the number of new cases each day. So we're seeing some developments on the medical side. The FDA has approved a third booster for those who are immune compromised. But despite the advances in the medical technology and the science surrounding combating COVID, we're still hearing from people on the right and Republicans who are against masks and who are against vaccines and who are really downplaying this vaccine. I want you guys to take a look at this interview that was done with The Independent with one of the Republican lawmakers. Take a listen.
So this is concerning to me, and that's why I'm saying there's more research needed by the FDA before the FDA approves these vaccines. Because here's the problem, Anna. Once the vaccines are approved by the FDA, we are going to see the mandates for vaccines ramp up far more than they are right now. They're going to be mandated, and I fear they'll become law in some cities and some states. Biden would love to make it the law of the land, and I think that's completely wrong. Again, I'm not anti-vax. I am completely for people being allowed to make choices, medical choices for themselves and their families. And I don't think the FDA should approve a vaccine that it doesn't seem to be that effective, especially with COVID-19 raging all over the country. At least that's what the media tells us every single day. But I've talked to local hospitals here in my district and here in my state. Yes, the waiting rooms get full, but guess what? The waiting rooms are full of all kinds of things, not just COVID, some, car accidents, trauma, other illnesses, cancer, and so forth. But they're seeing about 30% of those numbers being COVID cases. So while the news tries to tell us the hospitals are slam-packed with COVID, that's just not the case. Everyone needs to get back down to common sense and remember that, we're human. We can't live forever. We are going to catch all kinds of diseases and illnesses and other viruses, and we get hurt sometimes. So I'm all for let's be rational with this. Let's be careful. Let's be cautious. And let's not turn into an authoritarian regime that forces shots in arms of people that don't want it.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene right there, Republican from Georgia. Ben, she did say a lot, but the one thing that really stood out to me is, people can't live forever anyways. basically calling the hospitals liars, saying that they're inaccurately reporting that they're running out of beds. How do we move forward with combating this surge in COVID cases when you still have people, Republican lawmakers, Republican politicians, right wingers who are saying that this whole thing is fake?
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative from the state of Georgia, and Georgia, is one of the voices that is going to ensure that we're going to be stuck in this pandemic for the foreseeable future. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene is. We're faced with a kind of a conundrum because we have on our side of the equation a lot of people who say that we should not talk about people like her. Why are we giving her attention? Why are we discussing her? Well, the fact of the matter is that she is a representative. She is a congressperson. She's an elected official in the temples of our empire. And she is spreading a level of misinformation intentionally that is going to get people killed. So I believe that she is an existential threat to our civilization, to be quite honest with you, because you're right. How do we proceed with this level of ignorance being represented in the halls of power of the greatest empire in the history of this planet?
And I just, the people who voted for her, the people who trust her and believe in her are not only putting themselves at risk, but as we're seeing these cases in children increase as well, they're putting their children at risk too.
Yeah, that's the absurdity of it all, is that I can see, I often question how can a person be committed to something all the way to the point of death? And then, obviously, black people, we can answer that question pretty easily. So many of us have died in the fight for freedom and liberation in this country. But their commitment is to their bigotry and their ignorance. They have to create a fantasy of oppression. They want to be oppressed so bad because they see what they did to us, and they want to be able to control the narrative of the oppressed and the narrative of the oppressor. They want to be both Pharaoh as well as the children of Israel, because they're running around the country acting like they're the most aggrieved, you would think that they were living in the end times, that these evangelicals who have bookstores, who have TV channels, multiple, she's literally on television right now on a sub-tier network because they have so much money that, I would put it like this. They have more money to do what they want in terms of spreading this misinformation, and it is going to keep us in this pandemic. We are in a dangerous time in history because this is a powerful movement, and they are so committed to death that they would ignore the safety of their children, not just themselves, but their children.
Yeah. And, I was reading an article yesterday that basically said there were a group of students, about 80 students, who were exposed to COVID in the Washoe County School District. I believe it's on the border of Nevada and California. And this potential exposure happened after parents sent their child to school despite him testing positive for COVID. So here you have parents sending a child to school despite the fact that they've tested positive for COVID. Now, 80 students potentially have the virus. And what I realized too in these conversations, Ben, because you are usually in the southern region and I'm in the northern region of the country. Well, in the South, primarily, a lot of the kids have already gone back to school. In the North, due to the climate here, they usually postpone school until the day after Labor Day. So kids traditionally don't go back to school here until September, and then they get out a month later because of the climate. So kids haven't even gone back to school here yet. So we're not even seeing the numbers of the amount of children who are going to be exposed, who are going to contract COVID in its totality, because only half of the country has gone back to school. So this is only going to get worse. We reported earlier this week, 94,000 new cases among children.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse.
Sister Ford, that is the terrifying notion. And this is a part, now I want to be clear, this is a part where the Democrats are complicit as well, because you have to understand the role that school facilitates at the expense of our children. It does facilitate the role of babysitting our kids. Don't get me wrong, education is critical, necessary, and teachers do a whole lot more. I was a teacher, and I know that they are severely underpaid, right? So this is not a comment to offend the school, or rather the teachers, but let's be, in terms of society, the reason they are so insistent on pushing our kids back into the schools is because they are the linchpin. They know if they can get us to abandon our kids, then we'll be like, well, hell, we'll just go out. We'll go to the bar. We'll keep spending money in this system. And they know a critical component of getting parents to spend money in this system is to make sure that their kids are occupied 8 hours a day.
And not only are the Democrats complicit, but you have faith leaders who are complicit. You have faith leaders who are throwing fuel on the fire. Take a listen at Greg Locke as he explained to his congregation reasons behind his stance on the vaccine, and ultimately that he really owes no one an explanation.
And none of the wicked shall understand. Whoa, shall understand what? Shall understand what's happening in the end times. None of the wicked shall understand. So guess what? You do not have to explain yourself anymore. I don't have to explain myself to National Public Radio. I don't have to explain myself to CNN. Why? Because no matter what explanation I give them, the wicked shall not understand. Because the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, because they are spirits that discern, neither can he know them. You cannot argue, we've said this for years, you can't argue religion and politics with people and expect to come out clean. So I don't argue. I just state what I know to be facts up there, and I let people argue themselves all over Facebook, right? I don't care, hit and run. I'm not going to argue with you. I know what the facts are. I know what the truth is. And no matter what I say, listen, lost people are not going to get it. So I'm not looking for an argument. I'm looking for the person that's so looking for truth, they think I'm so radically crazy. They're like, well, maybe there's something to this cat. That's the ones I'm after. Because the wicked are going to do wicked, and the wicked shall not understand. Stop arguing with them. They're not going to get it. Okay? The world does not understand why we kept our church open. They just don't. And I don't have to have them get it. Look, the world does not understand most of us, stance on the vaccine. They don't get it. But they don't have to get it. They don't have to understand why I say what I say. I've got to understand why I say what I say. And that's what keeps me convictional. That's what keeps me grounded. So no matter how much you argue with people, they are not going to understand. Look, you can tell a lost person 10,000 times that Joe Biden stole the election, and they will look at you like a billy goat eating briars.
He almost made it.
They get that deer in the headlight look like, oh my goodness, do you really believe such crazy, arrogant nonsense?
Georgia, he almost made it through his entire time. I thought I was going to have to explain to people the nature of how insidious he is positioning himself to sound reasonable based on the Bible. Now, I know for everyone who doesn't subscribe to the Bible, you're like, he sounds like a fool. But to people who subscribe to the Bible, he sounded reasonable. He almost made it out, but his love for Donald Trump shined through. Thank you, Greg Locke, because I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, he did open with scripture. And to me, that is what is so dangerous about this viewpoint, this perspective, this lifestyle, this insane love for Donald Trump that continues even after the man has lost the election and is still under investigation for criminal charges. It is so dangerous to know that you have advocates like Greg Locke who are corrupting the word of God in order to further perpetuate this ideology. And to hear, think about that. If culturally, if we accept that, I don't have to understand where you're coming from, like, so we're just removing the value that we place on civil discourse, on coming to understanding, on compromising. So and when you look at the foundation of democracy, what is democracy based on?
That's right.
You know, and so you just no, we don't have to explain ourselves. We're just going to be over here and we're just going to be crazy.
Right. That's because America's a farce. But let me explain why. Because it subscribes to it purports to subscribe to the ideology of democracy. But at the individual level, they subscribe to the idea of individualism to the extreme. So, and what I mean by that is they honestly believe that they have no responsibility to their brother or sister or non-gender conforming individual whatsoever. They do not believe that they have any responsibility to anyone but themselves. And they have enshrined that on the altar of their hearts, in the altar of their religion, right? Because that's what he's saying here. He's saying he's using the Bible to justify the fact that he has the right to live in isolation, in a silo, completely separate from everyone else. And he's saying that but Brother Locke, can I tell you what you're doing? You're doing that to other human beings who are Christians as well. And so for him to actually work, for his religion and his religiosity to actually make sense, he has to subscribe to a religion that sets him apart from even other Christians. This man can't come to our church and preach this. He can't preach. He's not preaching a universal God. He's preaching the God of Donald Trump.
And, I just really hope and even pray for people who are following behind him to be able to see the truth, because it is a deep form, an evil form of spiritual abuse to be perverting the word of God in that manner.
That's right. But they do. I mean, it's a Sunday for them. Right. You got to understand, these are the same people who he comes from I don't know what his bloodline is, but I know what his ideological lineage is. And it's the same people who would have lynched us on Saturday night and go to Sunday school on Sunday morning.
It feels cultish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's I mean, a lot of church has it's kind of a little unspoken tenet of most religious organizations. But setting that aside, this is on 10. This is Jim Jones. This is drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, these are people who follow their ideology to the extent that, Georgia, it's a cult. Because you have to think about, what scenarios do we see people willingly and happily sacrificing their children for a particular ideology? That is literally a cult. You nailed that.
And then to think that not only is this, affecting people's religious views, but their health, their medical views, I think to some degree, we've arrived at a place in society where social media is so influential over the way people make decisions. And a lot of the times I'm looking at people like Greg Locke, who's doing this stuff for views. He, like, you start to ask, like, what is the intent behind the action? What even people like DeSantis, what is the intent behind the action? What drives you? What is your why? Why are you doing this? I just can't arrive at any other logical conclusion other than a lot of these guys are trying to make a name for themselves, trying to build a platform. They're trying to leave a legacy. And unfortunately, it's at the expense of so many innocent lives.
That's right. And it's Georgia, we are at the stage of human devolution that this is the pathway to success for him, for Marjorie Taylor Greene. The pathway to their victory is who can be the most unreasonable, irrational, absurd individual on the national stage. They took their model from negative 45, as Brother Mac would say. They took their model directly from negative 45, and now they are replicating it. It is its own virus, but this is the second stage of the evolution of the virus of Donald Trump. Which is itself an extension. I'm sorry, I can't leave it at Donald Trump, which is itself an extension of America. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I've been disheartened in seeing, city by city. We played the clip earlier this week from the school board meeting in Tennessee, where you saw all of these protesters coming out, attacking other folks who believe in wearing masks. We're seeing the same thing now happening in Georgia as kids are going back to school. Then in terms of these protests, parents coming out saying that they don't believe in masks, they don't want their kids to have to wear a mask. These are the same people who last year had a problem with people coming out to protest the death of George Floyd.
Last year, one of my biggest tweets of all time, not that we're keeping score, but one was when I said, we're not going to die. We're not going to die for capitalism. They want us to be willing to go out and die for capitalism, but not for liberation and justice for George Floyd. Right. But look at how nature flipped and reversed this thing. Look at how these fools are out here expecting us to have some connection or some empathy for their protest because, oh my goodness, they have to wear a mask. Oh Lord, they have to get a vaccine. For the love of God, they have to actually survive a survivable pandemic. And they are so oppressed because of that.
And I would say for those of you who have not seen this footage, I think we should go ahead and cue it up because I know some people missed out when we played it the first time.
These are the protesters in Williamson County, Tennessee. Yeah.
This was after a school board meeting. You had a man who went and talked about the importance of wearing a mask, was followed out of the school. And then here you see these two men here threatening him. We don't have to play the whole clip, but I do think for those who missed out on it earlier this week, we should play a bit of it.
And everybody's taking notes, buddy. Keep that little smug.
I want to see your face so I know you have freedom. Put it back on.
You should put that mask back on.
Put your mask on.
Poor kids stuck in that bacteria. How do you like that? We know who you are. We know who you are.
Keep it calm.
No more masks.
Keep it calm. Keep it calm.
No more masks.
We're on these guys' side. They're on our side.
No, they're not. They're not on our side.
The police are on our side. The police are on our side.
So, when you see,
we know who you
not only are they going to advocate for not wearing a mask, but we're seeing this evolve into them attack those who are speaking out and advocating for wearing a mask.
That's right. You got to think about this in terms of social media. I think at this juncture, everybody listening should understand the tactic. It is when you make a comment and the swarm comes in. They come in to attack you and to make you second guess yourself, and then to make you, even if you don't second guess yourself, all those people will come and reply nonstop. And they're actually people paid to go online and to reply to anonymous people. Georgia, they're so sophisticated in this misinformation campaign that they have it down to the micro level where we see it in this. The swarm has shown up, and they're there to make sure that they intimidate anybody who goes against their political narrative.
But when did health choices become such a political thing, especially when you're talking about the health of children here? This was at a school board meeting, and you juxtapose that against last year, people coming out and fighting for Black lives, for Black liberation, basically just saying, stop killing us. And all of these people were against that. Oh, it's rioting. Oh, they're looting. There were pieces of legislation that were proposed to remove your right to welfare, your right to any state aid, your right to tuition aid, your right to any state issued funds if you were charged with any level of marching or protesting. Now, though that hasn't passed, at least not in the state of Minnesota, the fact that that is a tactic and a strategy that lawmakers are trying to incorporate so that it will deter people for protesting for Black Lives Matter. Might actually come to bite themselves in the butt, because here we're seeing more white protesters. However, the only difference, I'll say, Ben, is that what that man said was the police are on our side.
That's it.
And so the chances that these white folks are going to get charged with any type of protesting or rioting is almost impossible. It's almost impossible to think that they'd be arrested or charged with anything for what they did here.
That's right. That's right. And there lies the fundamental. You said, when did health become political? That's because America has made a sport of politics. See, for Black folks, politics has been a matter of life and death. Y'all been playing games. Because somebody, please tell me, what white folks really got to complain about here in this country? There are poor white folks, to be sure. But y'all been siding with the wrong people for the longest time, and y'all want us to come over there and side with y'all despite your racism. But the rich white folks, see, let me tell you one thing about this group. Some of those folks in that room who are making all this ruckus, they're vaccinated. They're vaccinated, and they're going to be okay. And then some other folks in there, they're not, and they're going to take it home, even if they are vaccinated. That room is a petri dish that we're looking at on the screen right now. That is a petri dish. And I just know that we are at a very, very dangerous time where this is becoming the norm from people who have nothing to be aggrieved over, because they got nannies at home. They got Maserati. They got everything they want and need. And they out here acting like they're the most aggrieved people in the country. Because one last detail, Georgia, because these are not poor white folks, because the poor white, the ones who are working next to poor Black folks at the grocery, they're the essential workers. The poor white folks who are essential workers ain't got time to be out here. They look like they got on some stuff they got at Banana Republic, wherever they shop at. I don't know. Go ahead, Georgia. Sorry.
Well, when you look at people who are below the poverty line or at the poverty line, through the entire pandemic, people had the privilege and the luxury to go home and to stay at home so that they could be safe. Most of those workers were still going into work every day, trying to figure out where they could afford to send their kids. And so they didn't have the luxury to make decisions that were going to keep them at the lowest risk of exposure to COVID. They had to be out here. And so usually if you sit down and you talk to essential workers, they were the ones who they were wearing gloves, wearing masks. They were utilizing all of the PPE to try and stay safe because they didn't have the luxury of staying home.
That's right. And that's the distinction here. If you don't mind, put the that guy back up, the guy in the pink shirt and the kin next to him, because I really do that. The families that are out here fighting at the essential worker level, they are absolutely trying to save their lives because they're having to go out and work on behalf of these people. These folks, these are not essential workers. This guy, that's Abercrombie and Fitch. He's going to the golf club later. The essential workers, those are the people who are out there that actually do have something to be aggrieved over. White essential workers, these are the folks that you have been aligned with all this time, and they are committed to getting you killed because they don't want you to wear a mask, and they don't want to have to come into your restaurant wearing a mask. So you really got to realign. We got to really figure out who's on our side and who's not.
And there have been these campaigns when you see stuff like this happening where, if you just pause the video and take a screenshot of at least those two individuals who ran up on the car and started threatening the man in the car, I think we should take a screenshot and we should find out who they are. We should find out where they work. And I think that their employers should answer for how they're behaving and being out here making threats. And I'd be curious to know if their employer mandates masks in the workplace.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I guarantee you they do. And here's, I bet you one thing. I know he's vaccinated. I guarantee you those fools out there are vaccinated, but they want to make sure that you are not. They want to make sure that your children are not. They want to make sure that your children are not protected in schools. But their kids are not going to your schools. That's the thing. You think these two men have kids at your school? No.
Absolutely not. You know, there was an op-ed article that talked about the number of people who we've lost during this pandemic and the population shift. Also, the way that the population is changing in America, contrasted with the fact that there's going to be massive redistricting now that, you know, the census is happening again. So when you kind of throw in all of these different variables, you can begin to see how it's all really a strategy to maintain power.
Yeah, that's a period. Nothing else needs to be added.
You guys, we are on the clock. It is Friday the 13th. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I am signing off, but stick around for more on the Benjamin Dixon Show.
I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah, everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah, clothes the match that they were handed down to me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to Benjamin Dixon for y'all. Good morning.
I'm still fly. Let's go.
Welcome again, y'all. Make sure you grab your tea, your coffee, whatever it is you need to get your morning started. It's about to go down. The Benjamin Dixon Show is coming up next, y'all. Shout out to Georgia Ford on the clock. Good morning, Georgia. Have a good day.
So right now, say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to run.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Ain't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to run it out. It's your time. Oh.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Woo! We made it.
Yeah, you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly. I know. I'm still fly. Let's go. It could all be words. I could be a hater like you. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out. It's time to say it with your chest now.
Good morning, man. Yes. It's hell here. Hot as that. So yes. She says it's hot in Georgia or just you. I like that. But NYC feels like the sauna right now. Yes, Georgia does too. But this rain comes every now and again. I'm just like, oh, this shit is fake. I just want it to rain all day. So I can stay in the house and go to sleep.
Ain't nobody take me here and now.
Bro, Diesel. Birthday is 3 days away, bro. Shut up. Okay, that's what's on Monday, right? Oh, yeah. The turn up is going to be real. Tuck Diesel's birthday is Monday, y'all. Tuck Diesel's birthday is Monday.
Yeah. If you're on a train, say yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah.
Tuck, make sure you on Monday, okay?
Young or old, I really don't care. Life has never really been fair. So put your fist up in the air. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. Tell them I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown.
The True Dragon's birthday is on Tuesday. Find out all y'all birthdays.
I'm gonna recoup it, but don't waste my energy. energy, my energy. I don't got much, don't be wasting all my energy.
I forgot to tell you.
Keep it tight, don't let nobody get close to me. My heart is right.
Patron party tonight. Patron party tonight. Make sure that you check emails, links to join our patron party going down tonight. You don't want to miss it. Make sure that you have your face in the place. Boy, DJ Switch gonna be spinning all that good stuff, man. I promise y'all. Make sure you come join tonight. Patron party. Patreon. If you want access, patreon.com/.
Just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for. I make what you've been saying about me true. Tell them I need my money right now. Round me the juice, they stole out my crown. Yeah. Sorry to tell you, I know my value.
Hey, get it done, man. Go.
Don't waste my loyalty. I let you in back then because I couldn't see. But now it's clear you ain't never been true to me. My intuition ain't never lied, I had to leave. Handle your business, do what you think you need to do to get your revenge. But you won't break me, God, that's my witness. That's the point of no return, I'm on a mission.
All right, y'all, it's time for my brother from another mother, y'all. Both of my brothers from another mother. Y'all welcome back to the screen, Benjamin Dixon and David.
Or at least the avatars thereof.
At least the avatars, right?
The avatars thereof. I am back. I am back in Atlanta finally, and I will be back on camera on Monday. Just we've been doing a lot of traveling, trying to bring more attention to the condition of the workers at Amazon. I don't know if we have that B-roll. We didn't discuss talking about that this morning, but that's where I have been, and that's why I have not been on camera for the past week. I've been hitting different states across I-10 corridor to see if the stories are the same. If there are how many drivers actually have urine, and everywhere I've gone, every person that I've talked to, with the fewest of exceptions, this is the experience of every single prime driver, with save about two. And one of the two people who has not ever had this experience was a white man. Now, correlation doesn't mean causality. It may not be the case that it was because he was a white man that he never experienced this, but y'all know I'm going to go get some more evidence. I'm going to go get some more data points because my suspicion, I have a sneaky suspicion in the back of my head that the people who are suffering under these types of conditions the most are black people. And I think that's pretty clear. The question is why is there a disparate experience? Is there, not why, but is there a disparate experience, a different experience for white men drivers or white drivers, period? We're going to be investigating this for some time, and we're picking up different components of it across the team. But we got to help people to understand that there's an overlap between the conditions of our brothers and our sisters who are essential workers. We got to understand that no matter how comfortable we are in this pandemic right now, that there are people who are literally putting their lives on the line to bring us our packages. And part of that process is them having to urinate in these vehicles. So that's the long reason of why I'm not on screen and haven't been on screen in the past 2 weeks, because the stories are pretty harrowing, especially when you hear young black girls discuss having to figure out how they can take care of all the stuff they have to take care of as they are making sure that you get your package by the next day. James, I didn't mean to bring it in that sad. It's Friday. If you leave it to me, I'm gonna tell you about the gloom and. Hey, man, I appreciate the pizza yesterday, bro. It was good.
No problem, sir.
I honestly did not mean to go down that line, but that's the kind of thing that's always in the back of my head if y'all let me just run my mouth like that. David, how you doing this morning, man?
All right, it's Friday. We got a patron thing tonight, which should be fun. And
yes.
The week's done. We're through the week.
Yes,
right.
It is always good. Thank you for reminding us. We have a patron party tonight. What time are we starting the patron party, David?
James, Ben.
I know you got to tell us, brother, because otherwise I'm gonna say 11,
it would either
and then I'll be going at 12. So you better set it up.
I'm guessing 8:30 or not. Yeah, okay.
Let's do 9 o'clock.
I got the nod from James. So
9 is good.
9 o'clock.
Yeah,
9 o'clock. 9
okay.
o'clock.
9
Make
a.m.
sure that you're in the
9
place.
p.m. Eastern time, that is.
Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to all the people who join us at these parties, and they're international. So it's like the folks who show up from London, Sister Brenda and Brother Muhammad, both from the UK. They are up at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes partying with us. And then we have Mark from Australia, who I don't even know the time differential there, but people come from all around the world to join us at these patron parties because DJ Exclusive, you rock the. I mean, I don't stay past midnight because I'm an old man, but DJ Exclusive, y'all be going until the sun come up sometimes.
Ben, I'm older than you. You talking about old man? I'm older than anybody here, and I'll be the main one staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning rocking. That's what I'm used to. Y'all like old. Y'all just got these old mentalities.
Man,
youthful heart.
Youthful, yeah. That's that
exactly,
youthful energy. That's that good. That's how this is the brother who can wake up and no matter what's going on in the world, he gonna say good morning, good morning, good morning. No matter what, brother. That's that joy. That's that inner peace.
Don't make me sound like Jim Clyburn, no.
Did it make you sound like Joker? I was trying to make you sound like TD Jakes.
Dwayne,
I was trying to make you sound like TD Jakes
for like 5 minutes.
But you got to understand, I really only have 2 impersonations. I could do old black women really well because I grew up around a whole bunch of old black women, and then the Jim Clyburn that's an extension of Professor Clump of Nutty Professor. But I digress. David, you're our navigator today because I'm just landing back at home and I have not been following the news. So tell us what's happening in the news that we need to talk about.
So I was going to start off with the tweets that I showed you, Ben. But before we actually do that, I actually think that everyone might be interested in 01, Dwayne. 01. This is a clip from an interview that AOC did with CNN and whether she'll be primarying Schumer.
Oh, interesting. Representative AOC from New York. Yeah. Discussing whether or not she would be consider primarying Chuck Schumer. Let's take a look at it.
Are you going to challenge Senator Schumer in a primary race?
I know it drives everybody nuts, but the way that I really feel about this and the way that I really approach my politics and my political career is that I do not look at things and I do not set my course positionally. And I know there's a lot of people who do not believe that, but I can't operate the way that I operate and do the things that I do in politics while trying to be aspiring to other things or calculating to other things. And so all of that is to say is that I make decisions based on what I think our people need and my community needs. And so I'm not commenting on that.
One of the things that I thought was so fascinating in her answer was that, and we know those who are aspiring for different office or higher office try to position themselves in a very strategic way. And what she was saying is, I understand my role. She has said to me that my role is to break glass and to get attention for the issues that I care about. And I can't do that if I'm going to be thinking about the next step in my career. But she does have to make a decision, as I mentioned, because the calendar is such that if she's going to run in a primary against Senator Schumer, she's going to have to decide at some point, within the next year.
That's a great clip, actually, David. Why did you want us to discuss it?
I found her explanation interesting. I'm kind of split on whether. I believe she believes it, at least to a degree. I'm just.
Oh, you don't know whether or not you believe her.
I'm split on more on whether how it'll be received.
Ah.
Right? Because I know the mistrust and doubt that is just. That we're also used to now. So
I don't. Okay, so let's drill down. My thing was I just don't. and I want to come to where you are, David. I know exactly where you are, and we'll get there. But I just want to go to the basic thing of, do we believe politicians? Like, I like AOC. I support her, and I support the squad. I got no problem supporting the squad. I got no issue with them because I like what they represent and what they're doing up there. And in a sense, I like what she said. They're breaking glass, and they're bringing attention to issues, and they're trying to simultaneously be the inside game and the outside game. I dig it. Because the last thing we need is another politician to go up there and just be on the inside. So, the question is, do we really get, like, James, I don't know if you could get a tap on whether or not you can. Did you feel authenticity from what she was saying? Do you feel like that's really a struggle for her?
I felt a little bit of it, but show and proof. Yeah, show and proof.
Show and proof. And here's why I would say that, David, and now I'm going to come to where you are. I say that because it really is a question of how strong AOC will be in the face of all of the temptation around her, like this interview, pushing her, insisting that she should move up and aspire for higher office. And her real question has to be, for her own personal calculus, is, and I think she's made that clear. She's made it clear. She's like, I can't think like this. If you all want me to be up here and to think like what my next step is going to be, then I understand how to maneuver and go through the machinations necessary to get to that next step. But I can't sacrifice what I'm trying to do in exchange for that next step, because they are at odds with each other. That's what I think. And
that's the part that came through as genuine. Exactly. That is kind of like that, because if you think about it, it makes sense. A lot of the things that they do would completely be in spite of a goal like going to the next level or going to another office.
Right, because you got to think about it. The higher office you go, the more money you have to raise. I forgot who said it this week, but it was either Georgia or it was Rebecca. But they were discussing how much time, or they were speaking with a guest about how much time politicians spend raising money, how much time they spend on the phones. Every office that you aspire to, you got to raise money. And you're talking about politicians. Honest to God, I don't know if people know this, but I've sat on phones with some people trying to run for office, and they spend like 4 hours to 7 hours a day calling people, asking them for money. It's called call time, ironically enough. And so there's a trade-off right there. If she wants to, like, running for Congress in the House of Representatives, it could cost you about $2 million, depending on your media market, right? And I don't want to get into the weeds, but I just want people to understand, like, this is a big money machine. And so now, but if you want to run for Senate in the state of New York, Sister AOC is going to have to raise somewhere into the tens of millions. I don't even know. Somebody Google for me what the last Senate Chuck Schumer race cost, and then adjust for inflation, and that's how many hours she's going to have to spend on the phone raising money. So.
And Schumer's not a small name. He's been here forever. So
forever.
He's as establishment as it gets.
And it's another opportunity. It's a trap. We need that meme. We need the meme from Star Wars. It's a trap. I'm not sure that I mean, she'll make her own calculus, but I think if her real desire, if she says what she means here, and this is not just a really smooth talking point, because it almost convinced me. You almost convinced me. I have to get the reference there next time. But the point is this: if she really means what she says, then running for a higher office is going to drain even more of her time away from being able to bring the attention, because she's going to literally have to sit on the phones for even more hours to now probably raise 10 times as much to run for Senate as she would have to raise to run for Congress. So there are trade-offs, and we'll see. What you got next, David?
So I got one other clip, and then we'll get to those tweets. This week, as you had mentioned, and Georgia mentioned earlier in the week, we had that big UN report on climate amidst all the different crises happening, and we got a clip from Right Wing Watch on the very subject.
All right, let's do it.
I'm sorry, Dwayne, that's A2.
In Revelation chapter 20, when Christ comes back to earth and sets up his kingdom, he's going to change everything. And there's going to be 1,000 years of peace. And so the sons of God, and these are the children of God, these are believers who return with Christ to set up the kingdom for 1,000 years. We're going to see a complete change in the earth, and that what we call the travail of creation or the travail of the earth will cease when the Messiah returns. So those who criticize believers now for not being, environmentally concerned or whatever, we know how the book ends. We know where this is going. We know how in the end, when Messiah comes back. Look, folks, can I say something to you and say it in love? It's wonderful to do all that we can to help the planet, but at the same time, if you know what the prophecy says, you know what's coming, and you know that real peace, real joy, and everything that men want will only happen with the return of the Messiah. And you can see that all through the book of Zechariah. You can see it in the writings of Isaiah. And that Messiah, without a doubt, is one man, and it's Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to lie.
This is your wheelhouse. This is entirely
No. I'm not going to lie. I tuned out. All I heard was womp, 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 womp. What was he saying? I'm not going to lie.
I was about to ask the same thing. Like, what was the point of this conversation again?
What was he saying, David?
Because he said climate change, but it seems like he's talking about Jesus coming back.
The nuts and bolts of it is that he claims that the excuse for not being aware and concerned about climate change and the planet is that we know from the Bible how the timeline's going to go. The Messiah is going to come back. What's going to happen? So we don't have to be worried because there's going to be like 1,000 years of prosperity or something like that.
Oh, Lord.
So basically taking the book literal.
Dwayne, play it one more time. Just
No. You don't have to. You explained enough, David. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the evolution of John Hagee. This is because you kind of, because John Hagee is an evangelical pastor who always preached the end time prophecy. He's a guy who used to be on TV. If you grew up in church and your parents used to watch stuff on Sunday mornings, they probably watched John Hagee right after G.E. Patterson, just after Bobby Jones' gospel, right? John Hagee was on television, white man from Texas, and he's still alive, still around now, and I'm sure his church is open. I'm sure he's burying members because they're too stubborn to shut down because they worship Trump more than they worship God. And this is the evolution. This is the younger version, even though he's white hair. He's a younger version of John Hagee. He's carrying on in that tradition, trying to give a biblical justification for our screwed up, effed up politics, right? He's trying to use the Bible. And his thing is this. He says, don't worry about us destroying the planet, folks, because Jesus is coming back. Don't worry about war, folks, because Jesus is coming back. Don't worry about economic disparity and income inequality because Jesus is coming back. And then they have another preacher on the other side of the country who says, don't worry about war, folks, because the LGBTQIA community, they're the people you should be afraid of. Don't worry about income inequality because abortions is what. See, you see how they tag team and this is, if you want to know why Donald Trump was able to get elected, you're looking at it right here. But this is just the evolution. There was their fathers, the people before them, are the people who set the stage. That's all I got. What's next, David?
Because this man is clearly just delusional.
I lost my mic. Sorry, but
I have no idea. Because other than that, I would just say they're well organized and they're well funded. It was funny behind the scenes, Dwayne. You were talking. We don't have to say much of anything about anything. I just want to say because I understand this from a production perspective. These people have high production budgets. That set that you saw there, that ain't cheap. What's going on behind the scenes, behind the cameras, the lights, the lighting package probably costs about $50,000 for that lighting package.
Oh yeah, everything you saw there, probably total with equipment and set and all that, probably a good $250,000.
I was gonna say $250,000 easily. So y'all, I just want you to know this stuff don't pop up out of nowhere. It's funded. There's a money trail there. $250,000. And who he talking to? He might actually only be talking to, like, on an average everyday basis, this clown probably only talks to maybe 5,000 people at most. Okay. And I'm not just talking about internet numbers. I'm talking about his in-person congregation in his community. At best, he's probably got on average a congregation of about 5,000 people if he's doing really, really great. But every now and then these clowns jump up with some viral stuff to spread the most ignorant misinformation possible. And that's how they create their fame and their fortune. But you got to tell me something. How is it that Greg Locke, let's put Greg Locke back on the screen. Let's do we're going to do some internet sleuthing. We're going to be some pesky kids, right? And our little dog too. But how is it that this clown, who's got a church the size of my bathroom, no, I'm joking. My bathroom was nowhere near that big. Like his church is the size of my house. He's got a little storefront church. No shame. Because I grew up in storefront churches. My dad was never a part of a mega church. He died doing street ministry. So this is not to dismiss small churches. It's for us to say, how is it that these guys get budgets? Can your church on the corner of Martin Luther King in Pompano Beach or whatever black city across this country, can y'all pastor afford international attention like this? And microphones like this, for the cameras and lighting like this? No, they are funded by right-wing think tanks and organizations and donors and billionaires. They got some right-wing billionaires donating money to these organizations. How else you think they get $250,000 worth of equipment to spread this message of Donald Trump?
Oh, you forgetting. You are absolutely forgetting, Ben. It's the congregation. These supporters are giving them all this money. That's the offering, the building fund.
Go to the other clip. No. I want you to see. You're not wrong. But the other side of it is this guy right here, his congregation, not this one. See, this congregation right here, his congregation is connected to money, right? They got money. This is institutional money, and you're absolutely right, James. They got people in their congregation that are donating. But if you go look at Greg Locke's congregation, man, those folks, they lucky if they got hot water. And I ain't saying that to make fun of them. This is not his congregation right here. Go back to his other. Go back to the tent. Go back to the one where he's preaching and he's dancing around. His members. This is we can pull up the demographics. Let's do it based on data. David, we're going to take a break because I need to get some ice. I want us to pull up the demographics of the area around the church that Greg Locke pastors, and I guarantee you, they are impoverished. Because, I mean, well, most people in America are. It's going to be easy to confirm that because folks in America, we ain't got that kind of money. They just got a whole lot of bigotry. They hang on to their bigotry, and their pastor sit in that pulpit week in and week out and feed them that bigotry over and over and over again. But we'll get that. So James, you're not wrong, but I'm talking specifically about his congregation and how he's able to get this international fame when it costs money. The money and operations. I'm talking about Greg Locke specifically. Yeah,
I really think Greg Locke has, because looking at it, you say he has a small church. Man,
oh yes,
that white man has a big church, bro. That's dang near mega church to our. Yeah, that's dang near. Now the church itself is small, but that congregation, you can tell he has a huge following. So you got to think about congregation members online and everything.
That's why he's doing
I guarantee you, they are sending this man every single dime that they have, regardless if they poor or not. They sending any little penny check that they get, they welfare checks, because white people get welfare as well too. They sending them welfare checks right to this man. I guarantee you, they pay this man's salary and everything.
James, are they selling their food stamps and sending this man the money?
Yep, guaranteed, bro. These
selling the food, this man the money.
Mixed-minded individuals. I ain't gonna say Christians, but sometimes you gotta say it because black folks do it too. These mixed-up Christians in the head sometimes. If they look at the Bible and they say, "Oh, the Bible says give the pastor all my money, so I'm gonna give the pastor all my money, and it's gonna come back to me." I don't think that was literal, y'all. It's not literal. Oh my God. Okay, but I digress.
No. You see, I mean, this is why I'm glad, man. There's so many sides to all of this. You're not wrong at all, because that's what we see in the black community. We see these pastors. Listen. Sometimes the pastor lives large in the black community, but I'm talking on average. You go to these black churches in the black communities, you're not going to see the resources to fund that black church the way these white folks got resources to fund their white. And they got backup resources. Here's their backup. What Greg Locke does not make locally, he gets sent to him nationally because he gets up there and say the most absurd thing about politics as possible. And so he's getting funded by national Republicans who like this message, and they don't particularly care what he preaches about Jesus because they up there in New York snorting cocaine and hiring, sex workers. They just glad that he promotes Donald Trump. I'm just saying. Let's go to a quick break, man. James. But it's true. I'm out of here.
Oh my God. Stupid, bro.
Okay,
so you stay tuned.
Sorry is a sorry does. She just wanna cut up in the car. I told her start it up. I don't wanna see it from your eyes unless it's Cartier. Run into my old chick. She said you ain't playing fair. Playing fair. No, I ain't playing fair. Playing fair.
Okay, talk. B said
playing fair. So what she's saying is she said she don't know. I had to ask some more, but I really had to go.
Don't get him started with it.
Yeah, I get my pop on. If she needs some good, tell her she got hop on. She know I'm the top dog. I know she a hot one, but Lindsay's on the feet.
All right, let's see here.
Socks on. Yeah, I get my pop on. Yeah, I get my pop on. If she needs some good.
Real quick, we'll go ahead and get our new Twitch subscribers read off while we're waiting to get ready to transition. All right, new Twitch subscribers. Welcome Trail Boss 09 who subscribed. Welcome Trail Boss. Thank you so much for coming part of the fold. Big Buddha 7724 resubscribers coming in. Thank you for all that you and the crew do to get us the truth. Love y'all. Love you too. We appreciate you, Big Buddha 7724. Trekkie Nurse Dragon gifted 1 community subscription. Sammy Landicon Dragon gifted 1 subscription to Quinn Better and Surfer Girl Gritty. Come on, Surfer Girl Gritty. And Big Buddha also gifted a subscription to Waxing Philosophical. Waxing Philosophical, man. Thank y'all again for your support. Make sure if you have not joined that you go to patreon.com/LikeItOrNot. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot. And tonight it's going down. Patron party is going down. Your boy DJ Exclusive will be on the digital ones and twos and making us do the damn thing, man. So make sure that you have your face in the place this evening. It's going down, y'all. Like it or not, starting momentarily. Rebecca Zorch will be joining us soon. Israel Dixon coming up next, y'all. Stay tuned.
If she needs some good, tell her she can hop on. She know I'm the top dog. I know she a hot one, but listen.
Shout out to everybody that is joining us this morning, y'all. Wherever you're joining from, make sure that you hit that like button.
If she needs some good, tell her she can hop on. She know I'm the top dog. I know she a hot one, but Lindsay's on the feet, and you know I got the socks on. Yeah.
What did y'all say? Y'all want a joke? Okay, cool. 2 windmills are standing on a wind farm. One asks, "What's your favorite type of music?" The other says, "I'm a big metal fan."
You're no longer the light I used to know. You want your life to be an open door. Don't wanna tie yourself down.
Y'all know not to mess with me, leave me to my own devices. I'm gonna start telling jokes and everything. Ear hustler, what I do?
I can't help what I'm feeling. You think we're okay, baby? You're dreaming. You brought this.
Y'all are terrible people. I can't stand y'all.
How deep it goes. No, you don't know.
Okay, here's one more for you real quick.
You can't hold on. It's slipping through your.
2 guys walk into a bar. 2 guys walk into a bar. The third guy ducks.
You want me right there and then you don't. You want me to back up, but then I won't. No, I won't.
Y'all don't think we gonna teach y'all. Good morning again. Shay, I know Shay. What the hell was that?
I can't help
Yeah, man. Y'all know I have no sense. Good morning to everybody in the chat room.
Okay, baby, you're dreaming. You brought this one up.
Good morning, sir.
Don't know how deep it cuts. No, you don't know how much it hurts. Can't hold on.
Good morning. Thank you. All right, good morning. Roll Runner, what up, brother? Rosie Bean, good morning. Brother Latif. Jennifer Stevens, good morning. Brother Tiger, good morning. Good morning. Tiger said, Bubba, I'm going to need you to run those jokes back. So just flipped to a dead zone on my phone cut out. Sure, Tiger, I got you. Tiger, this was just for you. Two windmills are standing on a wind farm. One asks, what's your favorite type of music? The other says, I'm a big metal fan.
I can't stand you, James.
We need a soundboard for James. We really need like that. But I'm pumped.
No. Oh, guess what I'm going to buy for the show? Guess what I'm going to buy for the show? It shouldn't cost. And I probably shouldn't even do a plug like this because I haven't talked to this guy and we're not sponsored by them. But James, remember yesterday we did the little preacher segment? I'm gonna get the hoops triggers. Basically, it's like a program. It's gonna sound like a Hammond organ in here. All we gotta do is hit one button. It's gonna make us. It's gonna sound like a whole church service in this piece, man. And we're gonna do the church of the church of misleadership. That's what we're gonna call it. The church of misleadership. And
the church of misleadership.
Yes, the church of the misleadership of something. We'll cover. Anyway, David, we don't have much time for our guest Pascal. What's Pascal's last name? I can't pronounce that, brother.
I do not want to try to pronounce.
Yeah, we're not even gonna try. Pascal, shout out to you, brother. We ain't gonna mess up your last name like that. So in the meantime,
I don't want to do it like that.
what we got next?
Right.
So two separate videos that are kind of different tones, but we want to cover them both. CB1 Dwayne. This was Charles Booker when he was breaking the news to his supporters about Rand Paul and his trade misuse.
We have learned that Senator Rand Paul has used this pandemic to put money in his pocket. We've lost over 600,000 of our loved ones across this country. Rand Paul knew how bad it would be, and he decided to choose profits instead of protecting you, us. Last year, February, before everything really broke out with the pandemic, before things shut down, Rand Paul's wife, his partner, brought stock. She bought stock in Gilead. Now, they are the owners of a drug called remdesivir. This is an antiviral cocktail that Trump tried to use himself. It's something that doesn't prevent COVID, but once you are infected, it is supposed to help treat you. He was supposed to report it within 45 days. He did not report it for over a year. And as the news broke with Kelly Loeffler and others who were engaged in insider trading, essentially, he stayed quiet. And as this pandemic raged and more lives were lost, he sought the opportunity to put money in his pocket and told you, don't wear a mask, and told you, don't get the vaccine. Is this why? We have to really ask these questions now, because how do you explain a member of the United States Senate having this information, knowing how deadly this virus would be, and instead of helping you, he voted against relief?
That's right.
I'm blown away, y'all. And, you know, there's the crime and then there's the cover-up. And this news reminds me of exactly why these types of politicians fight to keep us fighting amongst ourselves.
Pause it right there
for a second. This is growth.
This is Charles Booker. He ran for Senate in the state of Kentucky against Mitch McConnell, and he was in the primary. Yes, I'm sorry. He lost to Amy McGrath, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But he did a phenomenal job. This is the power of black excellence. This brother, I think he raised like $100,000 in the primaries and competed with someone who raised like, I don't know, 7-8 million, because his campaign was that dynamic. That said, he understands the politics of the state of Kentucky, and he knows Rand Paul well, and he's now running against Rand Paul. That's the backdrop. Yesterday, we talked about this exact story. Rand Paul having used his position as a senator to enrich himself by spreading misinformation. And we already have the receipts that that's literally what he does. If you can trim that one from yesterday so we don't have as much of that clip from yesterday. But the clip from the Benjamin Rush Society, where he said that he would intentionally use this. Rand Paul said he would intentionally use misinformation to get a strategic advantage. And now we know. And I forgot, James, you heard it. I forgot the name of that biotech company was Gilead. Man, you can't get more clear as day that, obviously it's tongue in cheek, but the fact of the matter is the overlap there with the ideology and the mentality of people like Rand Paul is exactly what would lead to not Margaret Thatcher, the Handmaid's Tale. What's the lady who wrote The Handmaid? The point is, I didn't
majority
stick
of the
the
med students here today have a comprehensive exam tomorrow.
The point is this. Charles Booker is right to call out this man, Rand Paul, that you see on your screen now, because Rand Paul literally enriched himself by spreading misinformation on COVID-19. And he does it every single day from the halls of the Senate, where decisions are made I just want you to understand what we have in the Senate, y'all. We have decisions that are being made about the life and death of billions of people across the globe, because that's how powerful America is. And this man is an elected senator who has taken the opportunity of COVID-19 to enrich himself by spreading misinformation that would get other people killed. I think Charles Booker's clip should be more than viral. Let's listen into Rand Paul as he describes how he would absolutely use that misinformation for a strategic advantage. This is who Charles Booker is talking about.
A majority of the med students here today have a comprehensive exam tomorrow. Just wondering if you have any last minute advice.
Actually, I do. I'll tell you, I never ever cheated, and I don't condone cheating, but I would sometimes spread misinformation. And this is a great tactic. Misinformation can be very important. So one time we were in the library and we were studying for a path test, and so we just started spreading the rumor that we knew what was on the test, and it was definitely all about liver. Everything, there's going to be a vast majority of questions all about liver. So we tried to trick all of our competing students into overstudying for the liver and not studying for the kidney and every other organ that's on there. But so that's my advice. Misinformation works. So try to trick your opponents into knowing that.
Play the rest of now let's listen to Charles Booker. This is the young black man who's running against who's announced that he's going to run against Senator Rand Paul.
Types of politicians fight to keep us fighting amongst ourselves. This is gross. Rand Paul needs to resign immediately. I don't need him to resign for this campaign. We beat him. This is not about that. This is not about me. This is about us as Kentuckians, as Americans, as human beings. I've lost an uncle to COVID. My former pastor passed from COVID. This is not a game, y'all. For Rand Paul to do this while he is standing in his pulpit, telling you don't wear a mask, giving you all of this misinformation, saying that he wants to defund schools that want to keep our children safe when he knew how bad this would be. This is crushing. Rand Paul needs to resign right now.
So I have a question. So maybe Ben, you can help with this, and maybe David. Can Rand Paul be brought up on charges for this? Because I'm like, dog, this literally you are telling people not to wear masks, keep your mask off your children, and defunding schools for making kids wear masks. And literally it's all because your freaking wife has invested in the company that makes all of the stuff that is needed for this virus.
I don't know the actual statutes.
Right.
But there's got to be something. There's got to be something.
That's crazy.
He was supposed to announce it within, I believe, a certain amount of a small number of like 48 hours or so, or something like that. I could have that time frame wrong. I do know that it should be investigated, and then I know there's ramifications. I just don't know what those are. I'm not sure what the punishment is, if it's a legal punishment or just something in terms of Congress removing him, etc.
Let me just give you a little context, though, folks. George W. Bush took us into an illegal war. He's free painting pictures, going on Ellen, getting hugs from the Obamas. You know, politicians get away with murder.
Excuse me.
Politicians get away with murder, and Rand Paul is currently getting away with murder. Not only is he getting away,
literally,
he literally, James, literally, and so I do feel what Charles Booker is saying in that clip. His point of exasperation, where he's just had to kind of catch his breath. He was like, you know, because you got to think about it. I think one of my most put Rand Paul back on the screen. I always want to keep the focus of because this man is a monster. I need people to really just see what evil looks like. I need you to absorb it in, because Rand Paul is evil. He confesses in this clip that he would do anything to get an advantage. That he would literally spread, and no, I don't want to be generic. Let me be specific. He said in this exact clip that you're looking at that he would use misinformation to get a strategic advantage. And he kept from the American people the fact that his wife had an investment in Gilead Biotech, which makes remdesivir, which is a treatment for people who get sick with COVID-19. So he has a vested interest in as many people getting sick as possible. He's literally getting away with murder. But my naivete at one time in my life told me that people can't just be pure evil. Like, there's got to be some reasoning. You got to be able, like, they have like Killmonger, for example, right? He wasn't pure evil. He actually was right, you know. So I try to apply that lens, James, to the other human beings, but I've come to the conclusion that these people are just pure evil, James.
And yeah, there's no other way to say it. Pure evil and all about money, all about the dollar.
They will kill you.
They don't care about. Exactly. Oh my gosh, Ben. Exactly. You beat me to it.
We were about to say the same thing, weren't we?
Yes, gonna kill you for this money, and they don't care who they kill for it. It's all about money.
You know what, man? Listen, I think about Chicago all the time. People always say, "What's up with Chicago?" And to be honest with you, I think about Chicago all the time, and I think about the type of monsters that would literally kill children, right? And we think of the barbarity of an individual who can actually pull the trigger and kill a child. I think that person is a monster, and they deserve to burn in the pits of hell, or some type of throw them into a black hole so they could be spaghettified in the most painful way possible on the individual level. But what do you do when somebody gets 630,000 people killed? That's Rand Paul. That's the Republican Party. That's Donald Trump. And if the Democrats aren't careful by them sending all of our kids back to school, that's going to be y'all. We got a guest that's going to be ready. Let's take a quick break before I go off the deep end, because Charles Booker's more professional than me. Y'all saw how he kept his cool.
Do we need a break, Dwayne?
Do we need a break?
I believe the guest is ready already.
No, ready.
Yeah, ready.
Oh, okay, ready. All right. Let's bring the brother to the screen then. Brother Pascal. We get him on the screen. Brother Pascal of the Pascal Show. I don't say it as good as Rebecca says it, but brother, thank you for joining us. How you doing this morning? No,
man,
she knows. She knows how to pronounce it, man. Hey, you got a good camera going on over there, man. Got a good setup, man. You're looking good over there. I had a great time on your show. What was that, Tuesday or was it Wednesday?
I don't remember. Every day kind of blurs into one nowadays.
Right.
It's the pandemic.
Oh, it was Tuesday. My bad. It was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like when you in a purple box like this, everything kind of blurs into every day just blurs into one. By the way, DJ Exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm a big metal fan.
Don't come on here with that, man.
See, thank you.
Thank you. He was so proud.
I appreciate
you. He did it twice. Okay.
Hey,
he said twice.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. I was watching the show last night. I was listening to the show. First, let me give you a proper introduction, brother, because you know I'm not going to mess up your last name. But let me give you a proper introduction. This is Pascal B. I'm gonna call him Pascal B. How do you pronounce your last name, brother?
Pascal Bobeuf. Bobeuf. Yes.
Bobeuf. Okay, we're going to Bobeuf. And you're the host of the Pascal Show. You have an evening comedy talk show as well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I have a late night talk show. It's like a variety late night talk show that I do as well. Yeah, so comedy skits, but the thing is they all kind of blend into one. So like I do the comedy and skits on my morning show as well. You know, some parodies. You know, I sing. You know, I rap, that kind of thing. So I put all those things on one platform. But lately it's been on two different shows. But lately everything's kind of been merging into one. Really,
yeah. Funny how that works, right?
Yeah, in it though, because everybody's like, hey, we want to see more funny stuff, or we want to see more of this or more of that. So it's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to try to merge everything together as much as I can. You feel me? So that's what I've been doing.
Do I feel you? Do I feel you? Man, you just read my life story over here, James.
The struggle is real.
So it's real. But it's been a beautiful thing in the pandemic, man.
I'm just going to shut up.
No, because you see I went right past James, because James got a lot of commentary on that process.
I'm just going to shut up.
Because you got to be able to do it. Man. Yeah, see, I just would like to thank Rebecca and James and everyone in the background for allowing the creative chaos that was necessary for this to merge together. Because, brother Pascal, merging all of those different voices. But I know what you're doing is creating something that's greater, because you know the saying, the sum is greater than the whole. So tell us about those creative voices. And here's the other thing, like you cover politics, right? And you cover politics from the black perspective. So it's not just fun and games, ha ha kiki, but what you're doing there is very similar to what I think we're doing here, which is trying to find a balance of breaking the news to the people without breaking the people.
Yeah, and that tends to be a little bit tough, because sometimes, like, I feel like even on Like It or Not, we all have a tendency to kind of step up on that soapbox and just be on there for a little while and just drill it home. And they're like, we get it.
Wait a minute. Wait, did you just come on our show and critique our show?
No, I'm talking about like the struggle is that trying to keep it digestible, where it's not.
No, I felt like you read our internal notes. I thought somebody leaked our internal notes to you, brother. Go ahead.
I'm trying to say,
goddamn WikiLeaks.
I'm trying to say, Benny Ben, the struggle is real. Okay?
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. All right. So, sorry I called you Benny Ben. I meant Benjamin. My bad.
Bro, you are as comfortable. You are as comfortable, bro. You done came in and got us. Listen, this man done came in and got as comfortable in this on my show as I got in that beauty salon I was in when I was in Montgomery trying to break this news story. You just make yourself at home, brother. What you want to cover today?
Man, shoot. Let me get some Hennessy real quick. Let me get some slippers on. You know what I mean? Give me a good cigar. We can have a conversation. Okay,
man. What?
I'm just playing.
Hey, James, get jump. What were you about to say, James?
What would you say?
Oh no, I was about to say he ain't said nothing but a word, because I got my slippers on already. I just need to go grab my Hennessy and that's it.
Y'all, it is not even 9:30 yet in the morning, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, ain't it?
Slippers on too.
I got the Florida set.
Wait a minute. Here's the real question, gentlemen. Do you wear socks with your flip-flops? That's the real question.
If I'm inside, yes. If I'm home, it gets cold, bruh. Your little toesies, you know what I mean? These little piggies get cold. You feel me? You gotta keep them warm, man. You gotta keep them mugs warm.
Hey, I grew up in a time where we used to wear socks and flip flops to class at Bethune-Cookman, man. Like it was just like, we shouldn't have done that. That should have been.
We really did.
Listen, man, we're covering a lot of this stuff politically speaking, man, and we chopped it up on your show the other day. But one of the things I think that's fascinating is that I think the magic elixir, if you believe in such a thing, or the special sauce in our blackness is the fact that we have had to learn how to laugh through our pain. We have had to learn to laugh through the struggle, because the struggle never left. And you got to think about it historically, from a historical perspective. If black folks waited until we got our full liberation to celebrate or to laugh, there would be entire generations of people who would never have had any other feeling but rage against this machine. What are your thoughts on that, man?
You know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, let's be real. Why do you think that we have on and so forth out there? Because this is what we're good at. We're good at finding ways.
You must have went to FAMU. Did you go to FAMU?
FAMU?
That internet just shot. That internet just went down.
It just like shut off on me with the
like the Titanic.
What the heck happened?
There we go.
Try that again. That thing has a mind of its own sometimes.
Wait, brother, hold on. Hold the phone. You're doing this via a cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ben.
Welcome to the family.
Okay, I was about to say, Ben, don't go there.
That's a good camera.
Ben about to buy all of us cell phones and set them up. Choose Pascal.
Figure that out. Yeah, this is all through cell phone, man. You know,
I used to do my show through cell phone, but the cameras weren't that good back in the year of our Lord, the year when I got started.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Bro, finish tell me. No, get back on topic, bro. Because I don't know what city you in, but I'm gonna have to find you now. What were you saying about laughter? What laughter? What were you saying? Laughter is essential to the soul.
Laughter is the best remedy, right? It's the only way sometimes that we can get some of our frustrations and some of our pain, our sorrow out. Sometimes we just got to laugh it out, because it's the only way that we can turn something negative into a positive. That's basically what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's absolutely, man. So in your merger. Right, because I mean, it's obvious. Anyone who's been following my show for more than a year, you can see that our show literally has gone through that same transition. But it's been necessary for the political discourse. Right, it has been critical for us to create a space where we could talk about the issues that are critical for our community, but people get tired, man. It's like that. It is heavy. Like you did point. The reason I felt like you were reading our internal notes is because we talk about it all the time. How do we balance the struggle for liberation with Black joy?
Wow. I think it's a little bit of a. I really do think it's a matter of trying to find ways of peppering things in properly. It's about balance, right? Excuse me. So there's a little bit of bringing in the conversation, right? Tapping on it, being able to say what you need to say on that stuff, but then also being able to bring in personality as well. So it's not like they're just digesting gigantic, huge bites within this conversation. Like, let's just say, can I say the Rona on here? I don't know what I can say.
Yeah, man.
No.
Wait. Do we
bots
strike you?
In, you feel me?
Go ahead, man.
No, these bots be flying in. You feel me? So like, for example, when it comes to talking about the Rona, right? Talking about the 19, the vid, it is. See, like right now, you guys are laughing, right? Because I'm throwing it in a funny way. But when we get down to the bottom of it, when we're actually talking about it, there's still the heart involved, which is what you guys deliver to your show all the time. You guys bring in the good times. You guys crack up. I'm a big metal fan. Then you get into, I'm never going to forget that, bruh. That should be a t-shirt.
I got another one for you, too. Look.
No more. No more.
Just for you. I promise you.
I love the dad jokes, but the big metal fan. Don't do the I love him. Pascal, finish your thought, brother.
But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to talking about something like that, right? Something as heavy as sometimes
you got a good phone, but your internet suck.
Oh my Lord!
your phone is amazing. But no, you back.
Sorry. Oh, I am.
Yeah, you back. We just lost you froze up there for a good 3 seconds.
I'm sorry.
But that's fine. It's fine. You were talking about mixing in, peppering in as we go down to the bottom of the conversation. We're still connected to the heart of the conversation.
Yes. So of course we got to talk about those heavy conversations, but being able to season that with heart, humor. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to be like Kevin Hart up in this piece, but just being able to bring in just a little bit of your own personality. Because, we watch stuff like CNN or any other MSNBC, Fox News, if you dare to watch it. You see these guys that are coming in and they're just basically robots. They're just reading a script and they're just saying what they need to say. At least, I see on your platform and even on mine, shameless plug. We talk about these things. We talk about these things, not only with the seriousness of it all, but also with the heart as well. And being able to bring in personality instead of just being somebody who's going on today in the news. Like we change it. We really talk about it and bring the human side of it as well. Because when you're at the cookout, when you're hanging out with the fam and stuff, you all are talking, and somebody always got to throw in some "I'm a big fan" joke in the middle of the conversation. You feel me? That makes everybody laugh and go, "Oh,
somebody,
man,
listen. Let me tell you what we do at the reunion. What we do at the reunion, we hang on to one joke because you don't see everybody all the time. You hang on to one joke that you bring up every 2 years when you see each other. So then 2 years when we see each other, I know for a fact that Pascal is going to ask James Bubba Williams about that big metal fan.
Facts. Be like, hey man, do that big metal fan joke, man. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, you talking about the one of the 2 windmills?
Yeah, that one, man. That one.
Okay. So it was 2 windmills, right?
Wait a minute. Wait. Hang on. I'm reading my notes here internally. Is Rebecca outside the club? Oh, you got me thinking Rebecca's outside the club. All right. Let's
It broke my heart.
I know you gotta get ready to go because you got your show coming up at what time?
At 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay, so you got about a half hour. You probably need to go and prep. But what are you strict?
You got 15 minutes.
Okay, let's stay a little bit longer. But before we do that, are you on Twitch?
Yes, I am on Twitch.
Okay, so what I want you to do is let's take a breather, and we're going to reset because I want you to help me give some commentary on some videos, whatever we have left in the vault, David and Dwayne. But also, I want you to take a second to give David your Twitch handle because we want to raid your channel. We want to send everybody who's watching via Twitch over to watch your show. Now they're going to get there late, but that's okay because we all, that's to be expected. Black folks, we on our own company.
You mean my YouTube channel?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you said Twitch, right? No. You have a Twitch. You have a Twitch channel?
I'm on YouTube. Well, I have Twitch.
Well, we'll do the same thing.
YouTube's my main channel.
Okay, so we'll do the same thing.
So it doesn't stream simultaneously to both.
Okay, no problem. So what we're going to do is send everybody who's watching with us now at 10:30. When we're done, we're going to send them over to your channel wherever you are. So just connect with David so we can get links. I want to get links. I want to drop links in all the chat rooms because I really enjoyed hanging out with you on Tuesday. And as everyone can see, you got some sense of humor. You're pretty funny. You probably would have done better on stage than I did when I tried comedy. But that's a whole different story.
James, when you came onto the show, it was the worst time of my life. Just so you know.
Take us to break, James, man.
Don't worry, I'm gonna pop up on Pascal's channel and tell a few jokes. Oh, like this one. I got another one just for Pascal. Here we go. Okay. Did you hear the story about the claustrophobic astronaut? He just needed space. Bow.
And every evening, and maybe we can't get any higher. But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Making you move.
Songs everybody man. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, y'all. So you know what Like It or Not, the Benjamin Dixon Show, everything. Roosevelt, I know. Goku, what's going on, brother Goku? Miss Drew, good morning. Susan, Six Dragon Daddy, Caleb. Laura started right. And Marquez, shout out Marquez, brother. You are a trip too. My soul on fire every morning and every evening. And maybe we can't get any higher, but if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Make sure that y'all are in the building tonight, y'all. Make sure that you are in the building tonight, man. Patron party is going down 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. Bubba gonna be dropping some jams all night long. And make sure if you do want to send your requests, get them in early. And I can get them in there tonight, man. Absolute. I know. I'm just sitting here estimating each other jokes from Bubba. I know. Mara, good morning, Mara. Cindy Bubba, you killing me. How did DJ do it? Can't stand y'all, but I love y'all. I mean it, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We got more coming up. Baby, you set my soul on fire every morning and every evening. And maybe we can't get any higher, but if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Baby, you set my soul on fire every morning and every evening. And maybe we can't get any higher, but if Lily, thank you. I appreciate it. We can discover what we're hiding. Aaron, good morning. Aaron said, love make my morning as free. Laura, I appreciate you. They said they love my fans over the chat, so bump all y'all, okay? All right, y'all. Baby, you set my soul on fire. Keep saying these people in my ear because they ain't ready. They got 10 seconds. If they, Dwayne. All right, y'all. Like it or not, with Rebecca Azor. It's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. I messed up the whole flow.
God dang it.
Do it again. Do it again.
You know what? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. So now that we've gotten that out of the way,
Who's
the
on
intro.
the screen?
Ben, wait, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. But Ben, you in the intro, you said, say Like It or Not with Rebecca Azor. But until like the marquee back in 2017 that we couldn't get adjusted, until we can adjust that underneath the sounds, can we get Like It or Not with Rebecca Azor? Until we get that, then we'll be fine.
I agree.
Okay?
I absolutely agree, especially because the episode from March 13th, I asked you to bring me some music so I could set it up. No, I'm messing with you. I don't even know the date. I don't know what date it was.
Oh, I did my part because I
don't remember. You did send. So we gonna pass the hot potato. We passing the hot potato. It's somebody else's fault.
So I forgot to send it. I was gonna ask y'all who I need to send the music to. Is it Dwayne? Is it David? Is it Ben? You know what? I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Yeah. So it looks like our guest, Ben, because you have to introduce our guest, but it looks like our guest is having some technical difficulties, so we can see you.
We've already introduced our guest, but I can introduce him to you. I can introduce you to Pascal Babu.
Hi, Rebecca. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Pascal. Good. So how are you? Could you introduce yourself to me since I'm just coming on late to my own show?
Sure. So I could do a take two, so that's fine. So my name is Pascal. I host a talk show, variety talk show called The Pascal Show on YouTube, and do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We talk about everything from politics to pop culture, controversies, you name it, everything. Oh, and we have a lot of fun. Skits, parodies, interviews, and
bad internet connections.
I know it's pretty wild right now. I'm sorry. It's going in and out. I don't know why.
It's going in and out. It's probably because I popped in here, and it's only one Haitian that could really be on air. That's what I heard. So
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'll bow out soon.
Dwayne, take me down. Take me down too. Lead the two of them up. Cool. I'm gonna go get some ice for my throat. David, you can navigate the go ahead. Y'all got it.
No, it's cool. I wanted to know what you guys were discussing because I didn't have a chance to get on.
Well, actually, don't take me down because we do have some stuff that we got to discuss.
Was about to go and
I was about to go and listen to the show. Y'all don't understand.
But you
I just be want to sit in the audience. We built this. I'm be honest with you. We built this so I could sit and listen to the show in the audience. To be honest with you, but we do got to cover some videos.
Is that why we built it?
Back in the show.
Yeah. I needed a show like this, and y'all are amazing. But that said, I still have to hit one video and a series of tweets that I think both of y'all can actually give us a lot of insight on. I would love to get y'all insight on this. This first clip is Dan Crenshaw. He's a congressperson who lost his eye in war. That has nothing to do with anything. I just point that out because, that's how most people will remember him. He's a guy with a patch, and he is a congressperson who has been coddling white supremacy. He has been forwarding the election being stolen, stop the steal. He's one of those people. But now in this clip, his own supporters have turned on him. That's because you can't play around with conspiracy like that. You can't play around and feed people this nonsense and not expect for it to come and bite you in the ass in the end. Here's Dan Crenshaw getting bitten behind by his own supporters because he's not as ridiculous as they are now.
I can't tell if he's joking or serious. Problems, but believing that's why we lost. It's not. It's not.
You're wrong.
I'll tell you openly.
You're wrong.
And I'm not wrong.
Yes, you are. I have plenty of proof. I have proof in Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Georgia.
You did the Maricopa.
Yeah.
How did that turn out?
And guess what? It's going to turn out, and it's going to flip.
Okay,
you watch. You're going to see firsthand.
It won't. And you've got to flip all 5 states to make it.
You know how they're stealing the elections?
All right. I'm not going to argue with this. I'm not going to argue with this. It's just something. Look, I'll say it openly. This is something you got to accept. Is there a lot of voter fraud?
He is right.
Probably is. Enough that Trump won? No, absolutely not.
You'll see.
Absolutely not. 5 different states?
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands of votes? You're kidding yourself.
I want y'all reaction to it, but no, Dan, you were part of this. You created this. So don't act like you're frustrated with their ignorance when you helped create this ignorance, Rebecca.
I'm just stuck on you. Why did you point out that man ain't got no eye? Like, what was that about?
Because he can't see clearly, and I did not want to finish the joke, but he doesn't. He clearly is not seeing things straight because he created his own problem. Rebecca, now you're gonna get me canceled. Go.
No, why would I get you canceled? But and these are the people that do create their own problems. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that these people don't win any of these seats or places in leadership, because these are the people that are going to continue the legacy that doesn't put us first, right? And these are nobodies that come out of nowhere. I don't know, like you would have never heard of this man, Ben, at all until I guess he's gone viral or whatever for saying BS.
Well, yeah, he made it to Congress saying literally that.
But
they make Marjorie Taylor Greene. They make it to Congress saying this.
We would have never known who these people are, right? At all, and especially in these latest days. I think I'm and especially in I say in the year of our in Beyonce 2021. I see that we have gotten to know these people for who they are. And it's been good for some, and it's been horrible for others. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's been bad because she slipped right under the cracks, right? And she's been a loony bin this whole time. Like, she's been somebody who is on top of conspiracy theories. And this guy as well. We're going to see, look at the people in the room. Yeah. Look at the people in the room. This just lets us know what kind of leadership this is going to. It's the same thing over and over. It's the same conversation. It's the same leadership. And all I know is that this is just a great example of why we got to stay, even though they're trying to prevent us from getting out there and voting and having a voice. We got to stay out there like Cliff, right? We got to stay out there and continue to fight and to get these people out and to get these seats filled with people who want the best for us, who want the greatest for us, just like our sis Cori Bush and all those other people who are doing what they need to do.
Let me jump. Pascal, you got to go on air in a few minutes. What is your take from this? Dan Crenshaw and his shenanigans. He helped lead to this.
Right. He led to this. But I'll say this. Doesn't it suck when a group of people don't see eye to eye?
God.
Oh my God!
Better you than me.
Well, why would the dad jokes too? Are you doing this?
I'm trying to one up DJ Exclusive. You know what I'm saying? I got to one up a little bit. No, but on some real stuff. I mean, here it is. It's the bed that he made. It's the bed that they all made. And for him to suddenly go, because from my understanding, he's retracting. Right? He's going back. From what I heard in the audio in that video. He's going back on it and saying that like the game is over, right? The fight is over in regards to the elections. That's what I'm collecting, right?
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah. He's trying to go. Yeah, he's trying to flip it and go back to being reasonable.
Right. So right. And what's interesting is how people like to try to backtrack during these times, especially like what happened on January 6th. You have all these people before the 6th. You have all these people who are coming in. Fighting, saying, stop the steal, saying all this crazy stuff. Then the 6th happened, and suddenly people, other commentaries and other channels and other people are sitting there going, denying the fact that what happened on the 6th even happened. Or they're quick to turn around and say, oh, no, our bad. Shame on you for doing this thing. Yet we were the ones planting the seeds in all these people's ears, in all in their brains, for it to turn into what happened on the 6th.
Exactly.
So it's crazy that they go around pushing this narrative, pushing this idea. Then all of a sudden, when things don't go their way, they suddenly retract and go, oh, no, that snake oil I was giving you was, it really wasn't the snake oil I was giving you. It wasn't really me. It was other people. It was them behind me. And that's kind of trash.
I just don't. Exactly that. Exactly, man. Because you can't make a problem and then get mad when that problem is too big for you to control.
Facts.
They opened Pandora's box with this stupidity because they needed this stupidity to keep them in power. So
backtracking like crazy.
Pascal, tell the people how they can get up with you, and we've already shared the links. And when our episode is over, we're just gonna
like that, Ben. Dang, yeah. Pascal gone again. He's gone again.
He got a great camera, but
this thing is losing it. Today is not being my friend. I don't know why, but anyway, I'm still here.
But it's all good, man. Tell the people how to get up with you so they can come see your camera cut off as you give them your variety show.
Dang. Right. Obviously, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Pascal Show. You can follow me on Instagram, same thing, The Pascal Show, and Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word. You can follow me all on there.
And what time is your variety show? Or you're saying now you have merged your morning show into a variety show?
Yeah. So, but I still do an evening show as well. So usually
you stream it twice a day, brother?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 times a lady, you know what I'm saying? 2 times, making it good.
This is not fair. Hey, Pascal, you got to come on sometime next week when I'm on time. You got to come on sometime next week. So let's come, let's get.
What y'all gonna sing? What duet y'all gonna sing?
No, not to sing.
You sing?
I need to see.
Rebecca, you sing
in like a few minutes.
Yeah, I do. But I I need to.
Rebecca,
what David put in the chat.
No.
No. Everybody pause and reflect on what David just put in the Slack for Rebecca. Holy cow.
Same thing.
Everybody coming for everybody's necks around here today,
That's
Pascal.
Okay. Everybody, give me a second because I wasn't on the show. So let me have a conversation with Pascal for 2 seconds.
Oh,
2 seconds.
Sure.
Everybody, mute. So Pascal.
Come on, Rebecca.
So next Friday, we're gonna get you back on the show so that we can come on. So you can come on and I can see who is more extra. Because in this 2 seconds that you've been on, you have been extra like the fries at the bottom of a McDonald's bag. So I need to see how extra you truly are. So and then on top of that, you're Haitian and can sing. I think that's great. So I think that we could definitely.
It's about to be them.
I feel like if y'all gonna have a conversation, you're gonna have to join his even show.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Rebecca, if you want to, because this would be great, because I'd be ready to go sometimes, and because Rebecca's work situation gets her here late, Rebecca'd be wanting to talk. So what we could do is when our show is up over here, maybe you could just go over there and say hi to
No, that doesn't work because right after this show, I have a job.
You got to go right back to work.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So sometime next week, if you do have time, you can come on to the show. I think it will be a good on another Friday show, but we can have more political conversations, and then we can have a great sing off. It's gonna be great.
Well, hell, just give us a little bit something now.
Pascal,
don't tease.
I don't know that man.
Have a praise dance off.
Pascal, leave us with a note. Leave us with a note before you go.
Oh, you mean like you want me to sing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Just you could do a riff. Do your favorite riff.
My favorite riff.
Exactly. Ben people on blast.
On blast, always.
We'll
putting them on the
for the next
spot.
time. We'll postpone it for the
Thank you. And thank you so much, Pascal. All right.
Go start your show, bro. Go start your show. We coming over afterwards, man. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this morning. We coming over as soon as we done here. All right, man. Take it easy.
Hey, Big Miller fan, shut up.
Y'all gonna ride that Big Metal fan till it break. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. Jesus, y'all just chatty patties. Y'all just chatty Peters. Okay? You guys are just
you had your ass on time. You better be like that.
Right.
Well, listen, that's fine.
Period.
Let me tell you something.
Sis.
Until I'm free and until somebody can do my hair and my makeup in the morning, I don't get to roll out of bed and be bald headed or not showing myself every single morning. I got things to do with my face and hair and make sure I put on something
to make it work.
Yeah.
No.
Why you think I ain't putting no? I understand, Rebecca.
Okay.
I am so much more comfortable not having to do nothing. Just roll over and cut this microphone on wherever hotel I'm in. Come on.
Thank you. Whatever hotel
I feel you.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel
So
Rebecca, whatever hotel you might be in.
Because he's traveling. But y'all don't have to. Y'all could just
I'm traveling on a wing in the prairie. Y'all saw I had to raise an offering last week, so let's not make it too glamorous. Rebecca, we got some more material to go through. But you mentioned a clip yesterday, and I don't know if we found it. The gossiping clip. The clip about the husbands gossiping with the wives, because that. We'll get to that in a second, David. If we don't have that clip, let's get that clip before the end of the show, because I do want to have part 2 of that conversation. In the meantime, we got a whole lot of other stuff. But Rebecca, where you want to go?
No, today was a chill day. I literally just been on COVID. Like, I've been on COVID watch for myself since I've been at that party. And then I've also been on just watching the different news developments, the latest that came out of New Orleans, who is somewhat mirroring New York's policies, where they just came out with where you have to have a vaccine card to go into to show proof of your vaccination, to go into shops, dining areas, or places that may have large crowds for entertainment. You got to show proof of your vaccination. New Orleans has just adopted that. So I think that's a good thing. But in the same, and they said you can even have 1 dose, just proof of 1 dose, because I know that you're about 80% covered even with 1 dose, and or a negative COVID test within the next 72 hours or something like that to get into any of these places. And while that may not be perfect, but it's something, right? I was just talking to my best friend this morning, and I know right now, since cases are rising, it's been a lot of stress on both of us. Like, just for me, I'm looking at some pictures from last year of me being in the house miserable, my God. And then for me this year, a year later, in the same months, exact dates, your phone will remind you, Facebook will remind you, Snapchat will remind you, all of it will damn remind you. And I was looking a fool. And this year I'm like, okay, I'm in such a better place, but then COVID is coming back around. So when I do go out and enjoy myself, well, COVID never left, and it came with the sister, cousin, brother. So what happened, I'm just looking at all of this stuff and I'm like, we're vaccinated. For me to have the fear of getting it and giving it to somebody, I think is okay. But I don't want it to be debilitating like it was last year. I went through it very, 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 and I know a lot of us did right here on the show. We talked about it. Went through a very, very dark period. Didn't know if I should even leave my house, right? Didn't know if I should even go as far as to my office building, to even talk to my office managers here. I didn't want to touch anything. A lot of things went down, and I'm just like, I was afraid, and I didn't want to leave the house, and then I got depressed, right? I don't want to go back through that. I'm vaccinated now, but I'm still in my head with it. Like, hey, Rebecca, you went out. Like right now, I'm like, what's in my throat? Because I do feel like, I got my teeth.
What is that you always the Haitians say when you cough and y'all try to? So when people cough, you try to you're doing it to yourself.
Yes, I'm doing it to myself, right?
She did it to me and it worked.
Yes, right. I do it, and then it makes. I be on the phone with him and Bubba. Bubba be choking, so I be like, and he be like, get it out, baby, get it out,
and it worked, like dead ass work.
Yes.
Oh man.
So, but I think
it never worked for me. It's weird. It never worked for me.
I say because you don't do it. You got to follow directions.
Right. You gotta follow. See, I know I'm a stubborn ass, so okay, I get it.
I say all that to say, though, that I just want people to understand this is it's just unfolding in an unsure time again. The numbers are shooting up, but I think people are treating it like, last year the numbers are doing the same thing. But, my whole family, it didn't touch my whole family. We're good. And that's the problem. And then when it starts to touch close nearby, now you start being an advocate for all these things. But I want people to be advocates now so that we can protect each other. Because once you decide that for you, I went out and then I'm going to go visit family members, you can literally put everyone at risk because you decided, I'm not going to quarantine. I'm not going to wear my mask. It's not really affecting me. But just because it hasn't affected you, that minute, that moment, that second that you go to see whatever family member or whatever, that moment could be the moment where you affect everyone else because you were asymptomatic and no one else was. So just think about that. Now, let's talk about the kids in the school. That bothers me a lot. Just knowing that these kids are going to school and they could probably be the carriers that bring it home to somebody because the schools aren't mandating the mask. So that's where my problem lies. I know, and I know these are babies. Some of these are kids that get irritated with stuff on their face. We know that we can't keep masks on kids. We can't. They're going to cry. They're going to be frustrated. It's that. Man. So I don't know why these schools, though. I don't know why these schools have thought. And when I say kids, I'm talking about the 5 and below. Everybody else, you better keep that mask on.
I would say 8 and below, to be honest with you. 7 and below. That's hard.
Honestly, y'all,
frustrating to them.
Some of them find it annoying at first, but I've seen several 4, 3 and up with mask on. They're not touching their mask and pulling their mask off. They have it on because they know they have to. My niece will sit there with the mask. Uncle Bubba isn't on right. She won't give me no feedback. I'm like, hey, put your mask on.
Yeah.
3 years old.
So everybody kids ain't like that. Everybody kids. Let me tell you.
It's been a few,
kids,
but they not.
They don't like it. They don't like it behind their ears. They start getting irritated and pulling up, or they start messing with it and flung it somewhere. Now mask is lost. You done found the mask exactly their size because you ain't got to wrap it around their ear 3 times and the irritation behind. You see, I think about those things. So anywho.
You've actually done this.
Yes. I'm not a mom, but I am an auntie times 15. Right. So, and I just say all this to say it's very, very stressful and it could be a very stressful time. And I want to encourage you, if you're in fear right now or whatever, get vaccinated. But if you're not going to get vaccinated, please just wear your mask. Please continue to quarantine. Please don't be around people if you know you've been around people. If you went out for entertainment or fun, fine. Come home and I hate that I'm going to be on. This is my first week of quarantine, like not being around a sea of people. Yes, because I don't want to put people in danger. I don't. Right. I really don't. Right. So and then I saw, and I wish I had got that article where there were numbers. Because as Dr. Karl Marx say, numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. So there was a post that said that had numbers and stats that showed us that the states that have more, or the states in the areas that have more vaccinations have lower numbers of COVID cases. Oh, yeah. And what does that mean? If we can look at the numbers they show, or at least they show us that in those areas where people have vaccinations, the COVID tests are low. That means the vaccinations are working.
That's right.
So if people have any doubt in their mind, and as the numbers begin to grow in states like Florida, Texas, Georgia. In Georgia. So as they begin to grow, because we aren't shutting down things, or we're not being mindful. I know people are saying, "Oh my God, they're controlling us." I get it. I don't think people should be forced to take the vaccination.
I do, but we can all disagree there.
Well,
what you're saying is still true.
I don't think people should be forced, because, like I said, there's
I don't think so either.
There's so many different reasons as to why people haven't taken it, and it's beyond the conspiracy.
If they want to go to school, I think just with any other vaccine, you can't go to school without a vaccination. So that's where I am.
Kids shouldn't be going to school at all right now.
Come on,
period.
Yeah, kids should be going at all
because they can't get no. See, we all on the same page. Finish your sermon, sister.
So I just say that to say, y'all, listen, let's take care of ourselves. I know I say this every day, but I do want to touch on COVID as much as I can. And if it's not going to be talking about people that die, I want to just say, hey, how can we protect ourselves? I know Dr. Mack was saying, how do we get more people out there? It's not going to be enforcing it, because now we're going to have that conversation. People say, I don't want it because they making me take it. And that's on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't want it because they're making me take it, on both sides of the fence. And it shouldn't be that way, but encourage somebody. I got people who took it slow and are finally there where they're getting their vaccinations. So
absolutely,
it's almost like telling somebody about the Lord, or telling somebody about whatever you believe in, not forcing it on them, but just saying, here, this is what I believe in. This is it. This is da. The person may be like, I'm not with that. But when they start to see you walking in that light, or seeing how it affects you in a positive way, then that might encourage them to come on over to the dark or the light side, depending on whatever you believe in. So I'm just saying.
And that's real, because at first, I was telling a friend last night, I didn't want, I had no intentions of getting the vaccine at first, because just like everyone else said, especially in the Black community, I don't trust the government, and I don't trust what's going on in this. I didn't feel like doing it. But when I started seeing the effects and all the friends that I had dying off from it, then okay, I really don't want to get it, but I don't want to get sick myself. And versus that, I don't want my parents to get sick. I DJ a lot, so I don't want my family to get sick. My nieces and my oldest sister, they can't get the vaccine because of allergies and other issues. So it's not one of those things we definitely shouldn't force people to get it. It needs to be y'all decision. And you can make your own informed decision. Just look at the news. That's all you got to do.
Tell people. Tell people if you've been exposed. That's another thing I was having a conversation.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It's literally like, I'm sorry.
It is just like that, Rebecca.
An STD. If you have been around somebody and you may have to come in close contact with them, I know a lot of people are like, I'm scared, I'm afraid to have that conversation. No, you have to have that conversation, because you may save a life. You will save a life. And, because this thing could spread. This is the thing that ricochets. This is something that spirals. This is something that literally will go down a rabbit hole. This is it doesn't stop right now. It literally doesn't. If somebody catches it, this may give it to this person, this person, this person. It just may be an ongoing thing. You need to let somebody know, hey, I've been exposed. I'm around you. And I just want to let you know I've been exposed. So I think you shouldn't be around me. I told my sister the same thing. Hey, sis, this is what we're going to do. Since I haven't been exposed, I don't know if I was exposed. I know everyone is in the room. I could have been exposed, but I don't want you to be around me right now. And she understood. She said, that's some real stuff, sis. You know how she talks. That's some real stuff, sis. That's some real stuff. So
we're going to have a singing group between you, me, Pascal, and your sister, because your sister could sing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I just,
Ben, you can't sing. What the hell?
I can sing tenor. What you talking about? I can hold the harmonies and arrange it. Boy, what you talking about? Why you think we look and sound so good on the show? I produce. But I used to. That's a last lifetime. Rebecca, you said something that's so critical here. These
know
folks,
your
man,
status.
Yeah, that was one of them. Know your damn status.
Know your status.
But here's the flip side, y'all. We can't trust them to know. We can't. It's really difficult. The best example is you and me, James. We hung out yesterday, and as we hung out, we were talking about.
You see, Dwayne and David. You hear that? They done hung out. They done hung out without me.
James,
that's
like
fine.
we were
got
saying.
My plan. Me and Dr. Matt gonna meet up here soon. We're gonna send y'all pictures of us out there with our vax cards.
David up north too.
David in New York. David gonna have to meet up with one of our old producers who live in the area. But we got people everywhere. The point is, me and James hung out, but we talked about like who we hanging around. Right? Because if the people that we're hanging around ain't vaccinated, the chances of them giving us the asymptomatic version of it and us taking it to our kids and our friends and our family, it's the people who can't get vaccinated, it's increased. So you're absolutely right. It's like you got to know the people that you got to know the people that you're hanging around. I'll just leave it at that. But I don't trust those. I don't trust anybody in the school. Like you said, nobody should be in school in the first place because you don't know whose parents chose to do what.
Yeah.
And they're sending kids. We were talking about this on the clock with Georgia. They're sending sick kids that they know tested positive for COVID-19. They're sending them to schools.
Mm-hmm.
Intentionally spreading.
My kids, my nephews, they're in school. They are in school. And let me tell you something. This is why I say we don't know background situations. I'm not making that an excuse, but let me tell you something. A lot of these parents are going to work. They don't have any babysitters. Right. Essential workers. These kids can't be, and some of them ain't even considered essential workers, but under some kind of law, rule, whatever, they can, these companies can say this is an essential worker. So come on into work. Mm-hmm. So they're now working and things like that, so they ain't got nobody to watch their kids. Who's going to feed their kids, right? So some of these meals are we talked about this last year during the beginning of the pandemic. Some of these meals are the only meals these kids will have to eat, right? So like these situations vary for family to family, and they're willing, not knowing if their kids are going to bring it home or if they're going to bring it home, to just put their kids and themselves at risk just to make sure their kid gets a meal or to have proper people watching them so their kids don't get taken by the time they get home by damn child services because the neighbors done called, because I have a situation close to me that's like that as well.
You've done this before.
Now, but also I wanted to point out, a lot of people don't know about the at-home test. You can actually purchase tests from CVS and
really
take the at-home, yes, and they're like $23, ranging from $23 to whatever, where you can get the damn test. If you feel like I need to take it at home, I need a result now for myself, because I've been out or whatever, you can do the at-home test. David said he's done it. I mean, a lot of people don't know that's available. Why?
I didn't know.
Why? Because they either want you to go to these local ones that are still up, these local tents that are still up, where they're charging about $200-something for people to get it done. Yes, they're still doing. When COVID first came out, that was another
hustle,
money-making freaking crook activity during the panoramic. If you look in a lot of these different plazas, you'll see like these tents that came out of nowhere where people were doing COVID tests, and the COVID tests were $200, $100 to get, because a lot of people were still going on vacation, right? To Tulum at the time, Tulum, Mexico, and everybody was going off there to, so they needed those tests done, and they were paying like $100 to $200 to get them done. And I remember in one plaza, all you saw was lavish, in this hood plaza, all you saw was lavish luxury cars getting the test done, and that's
so crazy.
Right?
All these damn free testing out here that they have. Oh my gosh.
But no one knew, Bubba. No one knew. I thought that whole time.
How?
In the beginning, I thought the whole time that the tests, you had to pay for it because this knowledge, as much as the numbers that were coming out, as much as all this stuff that was coming out, they never said, hey, here's free testing. The tests are
That's
free
right, Rebecca.
at CVS. The tests are free at such and such. In the beginning, when the COVID vaccine came out, the information was not clear if the COVID vaccine was free or not. So this is why I say, like, we need to be at the forefront of these things. Like, if you're scared to get the vaccine, at least try and test. Those tests are available to you at your local CVS or maybe other pharmacy stores where you can purchase them and take.
And let me tell y'all. Let me stop y'all. Y'all better do your freaking research, man. That's what I did. When I saw that, I ain't pay for not nan test, not nan vaccine, because I went on every website that I could to find out information. And there was a website that gave you free testing locations for COVID tests. Even when the government actually set up their stuff, that's where I did it. You can register on your site and they'll tell you what location to go to. Same thing with the vaccine. I gotta read, look up your information, because even on TV, on my news channel, they were blasting free testing locations a lot.
Yeah. Not over here. Not a thing.
Like when I tell you, I ain't pay for nothing. I'm like, why should I have to pay for anything? Because this y'all shit.
I think. Can I ask y'all a qualifying question?
Go ahead.
Because I think the difference might be in because I noticed yesterday, James, do you watch local television, any at all, or like you watch TV?
I watch local news all the time. Yeah,
local news. And Rebecca, you're saying in your local news up in your area, because y'all are basically in the same market.
You should have had the same one. Channel 2, WSB TV is all I watch. Channel 2 News. It gave me everything.
Not a thing. Let me tell you.
Because she ain't watching the WSBT Channel 2 News.
Let me tell you. My sister watches local news, right? She stays on local news. She didn't have the understanding that it was free or not. This is at the beginning of COVID. This is what I'm talking about. And I remember making this statement during our Like It or Not show. Was it free or not? Because everywhere I was looking, everywhere that I was looking, they were all set up tents that were and no police was shutting them down. You know, so was it illegal? Was it legal? Where did they come from? Why did they come out of nowhere? I'm thinking these were legit.
They are.
These were legit. This is what I was thinking. This is what it was. Then I started going to CVS and asking them, were they testing? None of my local CVS, the news was telling me to go there. Mind you, you live in Atlanta. I live in the metropolitan area. So because I see this on the news doesn't mean that applies to my local areas, right? So I'm going to the local CVS, right? I'm going to the other pharmacies. I even went to Kroger when they said that they started giving the vaccines to ask questions. I went to Walmart to ask questions about. None of them had answers. None of them. Nobody was talking about. They didn't have any answers for the testing, the anything. So I went to the website first, and that's when I decided to drive out to Walmart. When I went on the website, everything was like kind of like. It was like saying there's an error or whatever. Kroger was telling me there was nothing available. So I said, let me just drive over there. Nobody had any information for me that made sense. And Walmart had nothing for me, child. They made me put my name. They made me write my name on a piece of paper. They made me literally write my name on a piece of paper, a clipboard. They never, and you could see everybody's name being written down and circled and trying to squeeze in on a sheet of paper.
And you ain't got no call.
I never got a call back. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, I thought it applied to me, but there was so much misinformation going around. And then when you tried to go to the source, they were like, we don't know either.
Yeah, they didn't. That's resources. When I tell you everything, like, but now, one thing I didn't do, one thing that I did, I went to the local
I don't live
government
in Alpharetta,
sites.
Miss Nuru. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't live in Alpharetta.
Rich.
I once lived there, but I don't live there.
Right. But the government website, Georgia's website, actually had all the information on there. Sarah, you ain't had to leave your goddamn house. That you know what? And that I do remember that, especially when you're looking for the vaccine stuff. And I forgot to send you that website. I apologize.
So yeah, but it's okay. But
it's all your fault, James.
But no,
right.
But James, I say this to say we're all searching in these different manners, but whatever you do know, just share that information because somebody else might be panicking. And when we go through panic mode, we're not going on like government websites, or we think at least that we're going on government websites, and they really don't be government websites. So even in the assistance that you talk about that you got, I'm saying like I can't get any government assistance over here where I am in the county that I am searching. There is nothing available. Nothing. Yet when I'm looking at local news, they're saying these are the resources available. Not for me in my area. They're not getting
your county is a asshole, bruh.
Yeah.
That was so and it's dead ass. I saw that.
Like, yeah.
Fulton County got everything. Child, your county, it was nothing.
Not a thing.
Oh, you better come down here with the black folks, Rebecca. No, I just be keeping it because not that we got it all right. Not that we got it all.
Rent.
You say you can't afford rent?
Well, not for the type of lifestyle that I
if you want the city life, yeah, you can forget about that. But if you don't mind, if you don't mind the suburb life, your money can stretch a little bit.
I live in the
country.
Suburbs. I live in the suburbs.
You live in the white suburbs, sis, because they out there killing themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
They giving themselves the misinformation. You've been in their bubble. You've been in the white bubble over there.
I have been in their bubble. It's crazy, but see, the only benefits that I get if it wasn't a pandemic. Understand, Ben, that the struggle, when I was looking for a place to stay, the struggle of talking about like, oh my gosh, like the apartments over here are almost $2,000 and they are old and rickety. They just put you a new sink, a fake little marble table, and gave you some what is it, stainless steel appliances that weren't really stainless steel, right? I get out to this area that is secluded from everybody. They're living life like it's golden. I said, this exists? Literally riding into this place, I'm like, this exists? Literally, the rent was $600 less for a brand new luxury joint. And I couldn't believe it. I said, and I had to look at the lady and I'm like, is this real? Like I asked her. She's like, yes. She's looking at me crazy like, girl, what? She don't get out. I tell her, girl, you need to go out a few counties to understand why I'm looking at you like this.
Yeah. But it's dangerous for you, though. Because how many times have you said you've been worried about people calling the cops on you?
Yes.
You've been worried about that misinformation, you bubble that you're in?
Living in America is dangerous for me. And that's why I didn't leave. I could have left. I could have left this place. I really could have, because it was very stressful. It was. But then I'm like, these people are not going to push me out. I want to get what they have, right? I want to walk around here and make sure that I can live safe too. So what I did was start writing letters. And what happened? They fired that officer that was harassing me. My neighbors don't have an issue because I've called the cops on them for whatever sounds they were making in their bedroom. And I had a problem with that.
You did not.
And I called the cops on them.
Hey, come on now. You going too far now.
Blocker, you, Rebecca.
You going too far now. I was with you up to that point.
I love when people
Let them people live.
Time. I love when people are having a great time. But when you're calling the cops on me for...
okay. Well, yeah. Turnabout.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure that you understand that it can go both ways. And then,
I like it.
And then...
I love it. I'm here for it.
And then
I didn't know that they had messed with you.
Yeah, now we got a black officer. So you know, and a black female officer at that. Stop playing with me. I'm over here changing things.
You having to work so hard. You need to come down here to work.
I love it.
No, that's okay. I'm
no,
work
look, you know what?
I don't mean Atlanta.
She done did the work now. Yeah, she done did the work now, Ben. She don't need to go nowhere. I see what Rebecca's doing, and I'm here for all of it. Girl, let me move up there with you.
Let's
reverse the gentrification.
She young.
Exactly.
She young. I ain't got time.
I love that shit. I love that.
I ain't got time.
Love that.
You go out. You go forth, my leading edge of gentrification, black sister. You go forth and regentrify on behalf of us. But for me and my house, I ain't got time to be dealing with them. They call cops on me. So I'm down here in Wakanda. Right, I'm in the suburbs. You sound like you in the suburbs, but just on a different side with the white folks. That's all.
Yeah, I'm in the white suburbs where people.
The white suburbs. Yeah.
But no, I can go to the store and nothing is locked
can't get
up.
You better internet.
That part though, like that's some black shit right there. Y'all internet over there. That's some real black shit.
But it literally isn't. It literally isn't though.
I also live in the mountains though, so it's
because I live in the black suburbs on the different side of Atlanta, and and it's a little sketchy, but it ain't sketchy as the north side over there on the east-west side of the southeast-west side of the. Anyway, I done messed up already. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Anyway, whatever. I absolutely love my area. I look in my back. I look on my balcony. My view is mountains. I look to the right. I can see the whole city life at the same time. So once you guys come visit,
I like my view better though.
What I'm talking about. That's cute. You have a house. You got kids.
No. I got black folks around. That's my view. So I'm living.
Oh, no.
I did not know that this existed. And you remember how you said you went to your city and you didn't know that existed? Mm-hmm. Coming from Boston to the south side of Atlanta. And seeing the beautiful suburbs and like seeing how people are living out here and it's super cheap. And it's like, I mean, it is that sticker shock. Can you imagine? You said 2,000. You were coming from the city going to your suburb for 2,000 and then going down, and it was much cheaper in the suburbs. We went down from 2,300 down to like $1,400 in twice as much space because we decided to get out of the city. So I feel you. Like, you're just on the other side, but I never knew people were living like this.
I'm living luxurious. I can't lie.
It's a whole lot more other areas that you just probably not aware of.
That I found?
Where you are, you just found it. But, bro, it's a whole lot more, brother.
There's a lot of gyms in Atlanta, in Metro Atlanta, period. I've been to like
and
4 different waterfalls.
It's still affordable right now, at least.
Yeah, but where I live is way more affordable than over there. I can't do black tax. You just won't do that to me.
Oh, we don't have to pay black. We don't pay black taxes here. Everybody owns it. Is black. Everybody owns the restaurants.
I'm about to be over here paying the low. Everything that I looked at when I wanted to move into that area, I used to live in Buckhead. So like everywhere in those areas, or Buckhead, Sandy Springs, you know how that area is. And then I went a little blacker, and when I'm over to Marietta, right? And it's just like everything just started getting more and more and more expensive. And I said, okay, I don't want to go to a roach motel, because what they do is do luxury apartments and then just literally it's roachy. You move in there and it's just critters just coming in. You can't invite no man in there. You can't cook food and leave it out
like, you live like this?
You can't do none of that. So but I like where I'm at, and it's more peaceful and quiet. There was a point in time where I wanted to be just city, and I always lived like that. You know how many times my car got broken into? My little red monster.
James,
you know how it got broken into multiple times. I told you, my ex-partner, he lives in a condo in the best part of Buckhead, right across the street. Look, I can't tell y'all, but in every other day, the people was missing tires, was missing hubcaps. So
hubcaps, windows bust out.
I want to live in an area where I know that my doors can stay open, right? In my car, right? My door where people have to get into my building is gated. I am okay. I don't have to look behind me and be like, oh Lord, let me hurry up and get up. No, I don't have to do that. And I'm glad that I've made so many complaints about the police force here I made so many complaints, written complaints. Oh my God, I wrote into them about the 1 day late policy and having to pay $250 for 1 day late. I can tell you today, in the year of Rebecca Azor 2021, baby, they giving us a whole week. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
Rebecca making stuff happen.
Stop playing with me. They was out there $250. I was
look at old Rosa Parks ass.
If it was not for my best friend too, because she used to work in HR, she was like, "You need to write them. You need to write them." And I was like, "Okay."
She's over there, we shall overcome.
Stop playing with me. We changing stuff around here, and I made sure that on their social media page, how they need to go ahead and work that and start putting diversity. Let me tell you something. Today, in the year of 2021, they done hired another black woman up in that office, and they put her up on that page. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Yeah, I'm about to Rosa Parks this thing. Stop playing with me.
God bless you, sister. You go ahead and go forth.
That's why Rosa Rebecca be late every day.
Rosa Parks, your
That's
area.
why. Rebecca out here doing the work too.
We gonna come over there and capture your protest. Do you be out there with your Black Panther hat on?
Listen, when I do go to the office, I make sure I have shirts that are well. You guys know I love my t-shirts with my black wrappers. With my nails be the way they are. Like I go really black. Because, that's just it. Or I'm wearing something a little skimpy. It's never empty. Like, I literally go up there like, because I see the white girl wearing the shorts, but when I wear the shorts, even though I'm a little slim thing, when I wear the shorts, it's a little more. So I go in there and I let them know, hey, what's up? And I speak just like this. There's an issue in my apartment. It looks like, give them the news voice, and they just are very confused. Be confused. Then I call my mama on the phone while I'm standing in the lobby, and I'm speaking Creole to my shorty. Stop playing with me. Yeah. It's diverse in here. It's diverse.
Diversity, inclusion. They
had issues with my blackness, but you're gonna get a very big, bold circle salad of blackness. Stop playing with me. It's different over here now. There's a lot of black. There's an African.
I'm here for it.
I love it.
Oh, you got another African, Rebecca?
There's an African that lives up the street, and every time I drive by, I be like, "What's up?"
Paula White sent you a whole lot of African angels. Then
how tall is he? He
look about 5'7". He look.
Oh, he's my height. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Is he 5'7" with shoes on, or is he 5'6.5"? Anyway,
but the Amazon men that roll up through here, 6'3".
Come on, somebody. What Megan said? Megan said it. She said, "I need a." Never mind. I can't think of the verse. She said in one of her hot tracks about them delivery boys, but I digress.
What?
Yeah, it's one of her.
They don't be stressed out here putting down the packages. They put them literally. They're just happy to pull up, not have any issues, and drop these packages
because they probably Hey, listen. Anyway, James, we already know what's happening. And with some of them deliveries, I digress. The party tonight, patron party. Rebecca, you pulling up for about 10 minutes or something?
It's a patron party tonight.
Yeah, it so is.
Dang, I ain't even know that.
You ain't going nowhere. You still quarantined, so you're gonna be your ass right in the house. What's T-Ho?
My bad has been calling me.
Man. Patron party tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your own libations, bring your own universal accelerant, whatever you do, and we have a good time. DJ Exclusive does his thing. If you want to get a song in requested before the night, go ahead and send a tip to Cash App DJ X3C with the name of the song that you want to request for tonight, and that way we can have a nice little lineup by the time we get there.
I like that. Yeah, go ahead and send it with that tip.
I thought it'd be,
and if y'all want Becca to be there to announce everybody like she did last time, go ahead and cash out her a hosting fee or whatever. Becca's voice, y'all. Becca's voice.
Rebecca, they're gonna pay you to shout them out.
We didn't only shout them out. It was a good time. We had a blast. We just chilled.
Yeah,
I wasn't there for the last one. Fun. Yeah, I wasn't there for the last one, but the first time we did that, and you kind of, because you do this thing, you go around the room and you just kind of, you really just you be speaking life into people.
That's my gift, right? I don't care if I don't like the stress of always being angry all the time. Like, I know I might come on here with a cute little toot, because it'd be cute. And then after that,
you see how she broke us into her toot, bro. Like we now complimented. Go ahead. Right. She broke us in at the 6 months.
And then after that, I'm like, I don't have time to go on Twitter and argue with people. Listen, I am about to get on and probably get cussed out by a few of my customers myself. I don't have time for any of the stress. And I seriously I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to be suicidal. I know what it's like to lose a child. I know what it's like. There's a lot, right? So going through life itself is a bitch. It is. And a lot of people are going through so much. So I think just the easiest thing to do is love on people, even if we disagree, man. I know that's the hardest place to be. And I ain't talking about like how Republicans and Democrats do whatever. Like, I'm talking about we just are people, and there are life issues that really affect us day to day. You simply holding the door open for me, not because I'm Black, but just because I'm a person, like that may mean a lot to me today. Like, I may be having the worst day. People have probably been disrespecting me all day, and you thought to respect me and hold the door open for me. That probably would give me a little bit of a boost to continue through my day and to push through getting through it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so Speaking life into people, even if it's just words, even if it's gestures, even if it's a text message, even if it's just like, telling somebody I love you, not your ex that's toxic that you don't need to be texting at all and needs to be blocked. No, not him or her, but just people that deserve. So people that really want you around, the people that love on you or and it's not only checking on your strong friend, guys. It's not only checking on your strong friend. I know that's been the whole thing for the past 2 years. And it's not only your weak friend. It's just anybody who's placed on your heart. Just go ahead and check on that person, love on that person. It could be a stranger or whatever. But that's what's been keeping me going. That literally what's been keeping me going. Because, I can't. I really cannot be rude. I was just saying a prayer this morning because I called my dentist. I'm ready to put my braces back on and get this whole process done with. I'm tired of wearing these Invisaligns. It makes me sound like I'm whistling in my mouth. I don't really like that. But,
why are you so stupid?
I called them, and the lady has been inconveniencing me. Not my ortho. My ortho, who was a Black-owned area on the left side, they are literally on it with me. They don't play with me. It's like going to an HBCU. That's why I've gotten the progress that I've gotten to from looking like I chewed on bricks to this, right? Jeez. And then on the other side, where these people are, they have inconvenienced me where I've had to go to other offices, where I've had to pay extra money, where they haven't followed up and called me. So much crap. And I've been praying to God. I said, God, I've been so nice to this lady. I've been patient to this lady. I know back in the day, I used to ride people's ass. Because I don't like being disrespected. And I feel like now I'm being disrespected. I had to ask God for permission to respectfully get them together over there at the dental office. Because I don't play that. I don't like being disrespected. But I'm a new person. And I think that being more positive.
You've been delivered?
Yeah, I think that being more, because I have to ask God for permission to get people together. Honestly, though, I think that it's just easier to cuss people out. Stop.
Look at Dwayne. Sorry to the people who are listening. We're looking at a video that Dwayne just put up on the screen. Dwayne be coming for folks, bro.
You just did it, see?
You just did it.
You doing it again, Rebecca?
Perfect time.
Just stop. Let me just do it. I know that I talk
the roast. Oh my God. Do the roast, Rebecca. Do the roast with your nails. Do the roast.
I will not.
Oh my God. All right, tonight, Patron Part. There it is. Tonight, one of those. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Big
head ass.
Big head ass.
Oh, Rosa Parks. Rebecca out there. Reverse gentrifying.
That's me. I ain't sitting on the back of nobody's bus, baby.
Wait a minute. What was that? Who was that? Like Juanita Bynum coming out of you? What was that?
No, it wasn't. But Juanita, what happened to her?
Oh, man. Paula White. We got to get Paula White out the paint so we can bring Juanita back. Anyway, I digress. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the patron party. Y'all show up so Rebecca could speak life into you. And if you want her to speak a word of prophecy into your life, send her a cash app. No, I'm joking. I'm seriously joking.
No,
we ain't
seriously.
doing that
This is going to be a paid gig. Send me your cash app. Motivate me to pull up this.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Wait a minute. They have to be patrons anyway.
Dang.
They have to be patrons anyway. We about to forget who we talking to. We messing up. We playing around, joking with y'all. But you thank you to all the patrons. We do this because you have been supporting us. I'm getting all choked up. You've been supporting us. So patreon.com/like it or not. If you are a patron, come on through. Now, if you do want a special request, y'all tip GJ and get a special request in. If you're a patron of any of our camps, come through tonight because it is a party, and we normally have between it could be 30 to 100 depending on the news cycle. People get more interested when elections come around, but we've been having a great time. DJ Exclusive sets it all, and Rebecca speaks life into people, and we got people from literally all over the world. So that's tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got.
Ben goes to sleep in 30 minutes.
I go to sleep by 10:30.
Possibility if I'll be there. Probably 50, 30.
Rebecca,
I don't know. I don't really know. We'll see. I love you guys so much. Are we at the end of the show? Yes.
We're at the end of the show. We got
before y'all get out of here, I got one video for you.
Please, I don't have time. If this is the video, I am out of here.
Is it the video
of me dancing?
Oh, get it, mama.
I dropped this yesterday night.
Come on, Grandma.
You better get it, Nana.
This is gonna be me.
That hip. I want too, honey.
Hey, that sounds like the music at the beginning of our show, bro. At the early, it's for the old
That's
heads.
the early vibe for the grown and sexy, baby.
Yeah, that's the people who get up at 4 a.m.
That's gonna be Rebecca in about 4 years.
4 years, damn. At least say 40, bro. At least say 40. Oh man, I love this.
Like, what?
Now y'all know we're gonna get a copyright flag, but it was worth it to see Nana.
Yeah. No, she put that. She said she set that camera up, put her MK bag down on the couch that nobody been sitting on for ages, and she said, "I'm about to two-step." She about to two-step, and I love.
How is it that we would get the copyright flag though when you go on these pages and see all these TikTok videos reposted and everything, playing these music?
Oh,
yeah, ain't no flags. So if you get a copyright flag,
TikTok is,
definitely.
So TikTok is based out of China.
TikTok is in bed with the record labels, so they, you know what I mean. That's why they're not flagging a whole lot of stuff, is because TikTok is getting paid from them for the people paying
Also, because I believe they're still based out of China and they don't have to subscribe to the same copyright laws of the United States of America. So I think between what Dwayne said and what I said, that's how they get away with it. And because YouTube just like flagging black people, but and you think I'm playing? We're gathering. We are literally gathering the
compilations together, and they just posted this shit. So these random people and don't get no flag.
We get flagged. Just to give you a heads up, we have some people doing an investigation for us. 86 of 100 of our videos have been flagged by YouTube, not for copyright violation, but for age restrictions. So, that's why we get flagged for everything. They be targeting us.
You can you can YouTube any video search any video on YouTube. I can look at a hair video and see how somebody is, giving me a tutorial on how to do crochet. And she could be like, oh shit. Fuck, man, get your, and then pulls out a blunt and be like, y'all, my bad. And then I could watch another video of somebody showing how to snort some kind of something to get the same effect that you get when you snort crack cocaine. Okay,
yeah,
I've seen it all.
Funny how that works.
And then on Twitter, y'all, this person just followed me, and I'm thinking, like, who the hell is this, right? And I don't really look at who be following me, but this particular person had a Haitian flag and da-da-da. I go on their page to see who they are. Nothing but full pornography all down Twitter. I'm talking about nothing censored, full porno. You don't need to go to Pornhub. You don't need to go to YouPorn or RedTube. You just need to go to Twitter.
Y'all, she say, y'all,
this is the place. Hey, I tell you what. The rest of the conversation at the patron party tonight.
Hey, because child, you didn't know that Twitter is just Pornhub revamped.
It's terrible. I felt like an old lady. I'm like, this is, oh my God. I had
you like Nana. You like Nana in the video. You clutched your pearls. Folks, it has been a great week. It's been an amazing week, an amazing show, great stuff, great content, great hosts, great everything. That's all I got. I'm going to see y'all tonight at the patron party, James.
Yeah.
Go ahead before Rebecca start going
play
again.
That song though. No, stop. Don't do that. Bubba, play that song that was playing before we got on break. I really like that song. It almost gives me like a soulful vibe. The one that you were saying makes you, if you got an old soul or something.
Oh, like Soul on Fire. Set my soul on fire. Ooh. Yes, sir. Hey, yo, the sound is so fire now. Whatever y'all did, Dwayne and James.
Don't come here talking.
You set my soul on fire. Every morning.
Becca, it'll be great if you put some headphones on. We'll see y'all Monday. Take care, everybody.
See y'all tonight, y'all.
But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Making you move.
All right, y'all. We thank y'all so much again for everything this week. It's been an awesome week. Shout out to Georgia Dr. Mac. Let's see who else we had on the show. Cliff Albright, shout out to Pascal as well too. Whoever I did forget, I apologize. Please forgive me. But we appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all on Monday, and definitely tonight at the party. Y'all have a good weekend. Happy Friday.